Hello, hi, what's up? Welcome back to another stream of Watch Party. घर में बैठी हूँ मैं तब से, इनका इंटरव्यू खत्म हो जाए. The way XLG has been playing late, I am worried about GE. It's going to be a tough one, I feel like. Every match is tough. Okay. But कभी भी कुछ भी हो सकता है. पाँच मिनट है भाई अभी भी. एंड एक्सएलजी है इसलिए भाई, और कोई टीम रहती तो और ज़्यादा टफ रहता, ऐसा लोगों का कहना है. वापस बोला हैड यू स्ट्रीम म्यूटेड, वाज वाचिंग द इंटरव्यू ऑन ट्विच. मेरे भी पीछे वही चल रहा है. Never mind, I'm switching this
and three guys who have not good aim, so we will see what will happen.
The three players are their weaknesses.
इनकी म्यूजिक
I
का
mean,
कॉपीराइट
yeah,
आता है इसलिए
for me,
वो करा मैंने.
Okay, I like this trash talk. All right, Crystal, good luck today. I can't believe you saying that. I mean, he was
मैंने
teammates with
बोला कि
basically most of their team, right?
एक्सएलजी है फिर भी ठीक है, बाकी कोई और टीम रहती तो और ज़्यादा टफ रहता.
Walk the talk that they keep throwing at each other. So let's see what happens in this 1v1 showdown.
Okay, we get Crystal versus Hathaway. That's quite exciting, especially considering the amount of smack that Crystal was talking. Although we have mentioned the operator in the skirmish, not a big fan. It looks as though Crystal is trying out a variation of weapons in this one mini.
Crystal is eating it right now. Hathaway might have been right. Oh, there we go. Crystal returning a shot there. This is
No, that's unacceptable. Discount that shot. Don't like that. But yeah, I think one thing for Crystal for me is that with his familiarity with the players on the server, like when I was watching Pat in Pacific, it seemed like every round he was getting reads against Paper Rex. I wonder if there is any of those tendencies that Crystal will notice from the players. Obviously, it's a long time ago, but you there's things in logic that you can kind of break down and understand, and I'm hoping that he can be one of those players today being very vocal. Or at least maybe on his lurks, maybe he's got a little bit more confidence today.
Yeah, that's a very interesting point about matchups
I mean,
between
given
players who
how
are familiar with each
Vitality
other.
played
And with
that
these
out.
results, XLG gets the map veto advantage here. Let's see what they've landed on.
Alright, welcome guys. Let's do the map veto for GE versus XLG. XLG won the skirmish, so they are picking their side.
Team B.
Alright, XLG picks Team B, which means GE banning the first map.
Fracture.
Fracture
Nice.
is banned. And what is your map ban? XLG.
We want Pearl.
Pearl.
Pearl is also banned.
Pearl.
Now GE is picking the first map.
Haven.
Haven.
My
Side for
god.
Haven, please.
Attack.
Alright, and your map pick?
Lotus.
Okay, Lotus.
हे
and
भगवान
side for
पर्ल
Lotus,
बैन कर
please.
दिया.
Attack.
Okay. We have Ascent, Breeze, and Split left. GE banning first.
Oh,
Alright.
sorry, we'll ban split.
You ban Split, okay. And last two maps are Ascent and Breeze.
Banasa.
Okay, the sider is Breeze. GE is picking the side.
Defense.
Okay, quick recap. We start with Haven, XLG attacks. Then we have Lotus, GE attacks. And if we go to the decider map, which is Breeze, GE defense. Everything correct? Alright, good
इशू
luck
लेके
guys.
क्यों बैठे हो यार?
Yeah, I think the big thing from that veto is XLG getting their home map of Lotus. That is the map that they have been phenomenal on. So GE clearly coming in with a plan because they're not banning it today and letting them go to that map.
And quick predictions.
2-1
2-1
GE.
GE.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
so
we
we're
are in
saying-
the GE bus right now. I like to hear, but for XLG, this is unfinished business. It's a chance to prove that they can finally deliver on the global stage. And for global esports, this is history. This is India's finest at their first ever Masters and loving every second of it. We got old teammates, old friendships, and everything on the line. Let's see who wants it more.
कल भी भाई वो उधर कोच था पहले.
Surviving another day here at Masters London.
अभी भी
首
भाई
先在
वो
赛
उसकी
区内，我
पुरानी
们
टीम
通
है
过自己的实
क्रिस्टल
力
की.
争取到了这个国际赛来之不易的名额。我们来这里训练的很刻苦，然后所有人都在用心的去调整自己的心态，自己的这个
दोनों ने
心
बहुत
态的那些就是
unexpected
上场
खेला
的
है
一
भाई
些感
कल.
觉感受，让自己处于一个自信，然后全力以赴，然后去操作去秀的这一个状态。
XLG, they will persevere.
I mean, XLG was my previous team. I win with them Ascensions. When I was in XLG, I played with Rarga, Happyway, and who I was coach. So right now, I face versus them again.
我觉得是我们的梦想一直在驱动我们向前走，去争胜，去专注每一回合，才是推动我们一局一局持续去争胜，全力相信自己的动力。
For us, it's good matchup because like it's Chinese region. It's like same as APAC. They like to fight.
下一场比赛，我想带着第二季的愿景，非常自信，全力以赴去争夺这比赛的胜利。
Good luck, guys, and I will destroy you today.
London, we will keep going.
Fighting for the final spot in the playoffs. It's XLG versus Global Esports. XLG started modestly as a group of friends in a PC cafe deep in northern China, far from the lights of Shanghai. Like a flower in the desert, they survived time and time again through Ascension. They're back at a Masters where they could finally qualify to playoffs. But their opponents today is Global Esports, an Indian org making a historical run through Pacific. And even today in London is a record broken. But while they're new to the international stage, they are far from new to XLG. They know each other so well, Billy.
Yeah, let's not forget, Crystal lifted that Ascension trophy in China back in 2024 with Happyway, with Raga, and now they sit on the opposite side. So many familiar names that know and probably love each other from those days back in that region. And now they face off one another, and one of them will have to eliminate the other.
Yeah, and getting right back into this map veto, as we said before, GE decided to bind that fracture, letting XLG go to Lotus. But first map of Haven, it's been a little bit iffy for GE here. Not sure what composition they're going to end up with here. Probably something new. That's what they love to do.
And remember, something I had said on the opening day when GE first played was that this is a team that relies on crazy composition changes. We've seen it within their own region, and I'm curious how that anti-stratting works here. They played on one of the late games yesterday, and I said this intensity of this event might mean that there are moments where this struggles.
Yeah, XLG on that Haven struggled against the RG before. They were in many advantageous positions into the post-plants especially, and could not convert at all. So GE,
Razer का announcement तो कल हुआ.
we can do this. This is an
क्या
easy
इनके
map
जर्सी
for
पे
us.
पहले से ही Razer लिखा हुआ
This
था?
is a huge day for both of these teams. Right now, there's only one playoffs spot left, and you can feel how much each of these teams want it. XLG want to go the distance to prove that VCT China is nothing to smirk at. We got Shanghai around the corner in champions for our next event. And of course, this Indian org of Global Esports has never gone this far before. And if they make it to playoffs, it's going to be absolutely incredible. I'm telling you guys, they're going to make top 4 if they pass through today.
Yeah, I think both teams have a lot to prove here. Both, you know, not familiar with playoffs. The XLG only going there once, and it was because they were the first seed of China.
It would be a new experience, actually, after today for either of these teams. And let's see what agents are going to be pulling out. We know Frost likes to make lots of different comps per map.
Oh, it's the same kind of comp they're running Pacifics, the double sentinel here. Very strange composition, not seen very much on this map. I think that there are holes here if XLG expected this to come through, especially towards that A site. I want to see XLG taking the map from GE, making the space feel really passive, and then throwing in some fakes. GE don't have a lot of information here. They're going to rely on big bunker setups.
Yeah, for sure. I think having that double sentinel approach is going to be really interesting for them starting out. I believe that this is the first deadlock that we get to see in the event as well. Kind of an underutilized sentinel these days, but can also be used in a kind of initiating way to be able to set up the rest of his players.
Now to take us through the final Swiss match, we are
But I ordered
by Mitch
from
and Tombiz.
a cafe which is closer from my home. I never had like there, but
made today on the London stage for Global Esports.
I had it in some other cafe.
But XLG looking to right the wrongs that have been done to their
Whenever I go to that cafe, I order
now, as they said,
chicken loaded cheesy fries.
their ideas. Do it for the boys they've
So
set
on
back home.
Swiggy,
A
it
start
was
here from
showing
XLG on the attack side
like
of Haven and already wasting no
400
time. You heard
plus.
from Crystal in the interview. They love to fight, and this
And
time
the cafe
fights
which
are
is
going
closer to my home.
XLG's way. Even with Patman fighting that, he's so low to 2v1.
Oh, the man of the moment. So many clutches coming through yesterday. Almost an argument to just put him on Killjoy on every single map with what we've seen Crystal do on that specific agent, but this is going to be a tough one. On the other side, Happyway has been unstoppable, but a little bit shaky for both of them in that fight. It will be a pistol round for XLG
the cafe
to
which is
start.
closer from my home.
And that's something you
There
mentioned,
it was
like,
showing
having to carry on
300
sort of
something.
I guess the weight of your brother after
So,
eliminating him. That was the case for both teams. Both
I
teams
ordered,
had to go
ठीक है, वहाँ
through
से.
a regional team to get there. So I'm almost looking at this as don't waste it. You have to
And
send someone else home that.
the moment
Well, we talk about those
I
friendships in
had
GE as well, the relation that they have to Full Sense.
the fries,
And now you come in with a different relation of hearing these guys
cheese,
are scrim partners. They play each other a lot, so I wanna see
cheese
one of
से
them
ज़्यादा तो
maybe have a few extra
भाई
ideas of how to beat the
ketchup
other,
का
because
taste
that's
आ
where
रहा
they
था
will
मेरे
have
को.
practiced everything.
Scrim partners, previous teammates, what half of the players in this game used
Like
to play
a
together in some
lot
form
of
or the other,
ketchup.
going across teams. So
That Ascension
Chicken
game
loaded
had a lot of the
fries,
players.
fries,
it's
French
definitely somewhere that
fries,
they're
chicken
familiar
loaded French fries.
with the bodies on the opposite side of the stage. XLG have the pistol. Ooh, very strong start from Happyway. This little spam through the door and a very awkward fight afterwards. Okay. But the weapons now on everybody else for XLG. We don't expect to see them lose all too much. Nice bait by Patman. Pretends to jump out of the window to draw in the fight. Good flash though. Udaton has his vision back and
And
they're
I
looking to fight this together.
already
Has to be careful.
Told my
Doesn't
mom
know there's a
कि I
player
want to be
quite as
having
close as he is.
dinner
And this is getting
chicken.
costly already. Still, the numbers there for
So
XLG.
don't make anything for
They
me.
don't want to lose anybody else, and it's a guessing game as to where Crystal is at this stage of the game.
There'll be a rifle retrieved. The SMGs are not
And
really the worry at this
By
point.
the disappointment after having
Crystal.
first few bites.
If he can get one, it would be huge, honestly.
30 seconds left.
Just remove some of that additional weaponry. Winning here.
ऐसा भी नहीं
should
कि
be
भाई वो कैफे
impossible.
में टेस्ट
The damage not so
अच्छी नहीं
much,
रहती है.
especially if
Like
he waits for somebody to
every
jump the bar. I
single
like the
dish.
check. Oh, no, I don't. I don't like the check. It was half check by Noman, but eventually he will go back. 2-0 for XLG, an important conversion.
Every single
Now
dish
they
I
look
had
to
there
build into this map because
was
I have a feeling
so
the reason that G might have taken us here was after
amazing,
witnessing their display
so
on this map versus
tasty.
DRG, which I'll be honest was very surprising from my side because I thought they'd go into that match.
अरे
not
वाइपर ने
heavily
तो
favoured, but
यूजरनेम
at
चेंज
least,
कर लिया
like,
क्या?
even competing on maps that they feel a little bit less confident on.
Well, yeah, I think we saw it in the
Welcome,
rest of the
welcome,
series as well,
welcome.
where it was a much closer affair. But that first map, I started to question everything I knew. XLG, in my mind, they were coming in as favorites. I think they made less mistakes in their opening games, but DRG trashed them. It was 13-4 when it comes to Haven. Already, 2 on the board. It's a strong start. XLG take down Udaton as well. This is not going that poorly till Autumn shows
This
up
is
to the
why I
site.
don't like
A double
ordering
kill, a triple
food.
kill, in fact, before he finally falls. And yet still, we're into a 2v2.
It was the run it back, one of those kills that was traded out, and especially considering some of the weaknesses in play. A plant for long,
अरे
eventually. I think Leo's letting go a little bit too early, and now he's kind of stuck in a horrible position. They know exactly where he is, and Harvey just patient, now knowing where the last man
Nice,
is standing because of the
finally.
ping. I'm not sure what went on there from the side of XOG. Maybe trying to bait someone in, but it didn't look like that. You don't normally stick it all the
Like
way to the
waste
very
of
end
money,
and then let go
waste
if you're
of
baiting.
food.
No, it's certainly a
Taste भी
strange
खराब.
strategy. I don't know what they were expecting to come their way and around with no
Mood
ults
भी
and
खराब.
limited utility on the other side, but maybe just conscious of a quick re-aggression, some deadlock util, the net, the shocks, who knows? Who knows? Or maybe they just stopped defusing a little bit too early, or stopped planting a little bit too early. Either way,
This
a
is why
2-1
you should
scoreline.
never
Early
try
half
new
goes
things
as it should,
from
but now
a
XLG come in. They put all their credits into this round. This is a
cafe.
full buy for the attack side with very little margin
जो
for error.
best है
But
वही
that can be
try
said on
करना
both sides.
चाहिए.
If we are going to have a lights out start to this half, this will be the round that decides it.
Seen this flash an awful lot if you watch EMEA. The GX doing it every single round, but gets you that additional little bit of space. Normally we'd come into a game and be highlighting the duelist players, talking about the fiery side of this matchup. But I'll say that the players I want to highlight in this game are all currently playing Sentinel. It was Autumn who will flex later on, and Happy Way that, to be
Please
honest, to
keep
get them through
chatting यार.
split,
तुम लोग chat नहीं
had to
करोगे तो
drop
मेरे को नींद
35
आएगी.
kills.
For GE in both games, Crystal has been solid. He's had at least one map where he looks like the best player on the server, and it doesn't even look close. Keep your eyes on him as this game goes on. Patman with the early aggression down C long. He's been embedded for quite a while, and he's found himself the pick now. C long no longer in the hands of XLG. They look to fight deep towards the
Please
spawn.
tell me
and
what
Marga's
is your
taking a double, but they
go-to.
don't think there's more here.
Woo!
Ready for Abby! 3 under his belt already. And Leo
Nice,
last
bhai.
one. GE looked like they were in trouble there, like they were backed against the wall, but they came out swinging.
Yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate. Like you see the fight forward from Braga, and they're able to take out both players. They go, okay, well there was no re-swing. I guess Harvey just a little bit further behind on the rotation, but I almost wonder if they think he was baiting at that point just because of the gap that came in, but it worked perfectly. Harvey then still had to hit all of the shots, and that's exactly what he does. Hunter's Fury online. Opponent's economy completely reset. And well, in this round, other than some pistols and a stinger,
My defend
not
dosa.
much to play with at all.
Cafe maybe dosa.
Yeah, they're going to sit
Like,
back and wait.
if you're going to a restaurant or cafe, what will
XLG
you order?
thinking maybe there was some A aggression coming up. The smoke down on shore, it's going to deny them even if they crossed over having any kind of fight in favor. Towards the
I have
B site.
never
I think this is a
heard
good
you
round for
saying
some
anything
experimentation. You really have to get an idea of what
rather
GE are
than
doing
dosa.
with their Sentinel utility when they have so much. But the problem is they have so much. They can just keep changing up those positions. And the main problem will be Crystal. It's a very unusual comp to play against on this map. And those sensors are going to punish No Man every time he wants to dash in to take space if he chooses the wrong side.
Defeated. Nice shot from Harvey. He's not necessarily been the highlight player individually, but he's had a great start to this game. And mainly that's because they've had so many other highlight players individually.
I got the spike.
Getting through. It's going to be awkward there. You mentioned it. He tries to go over the utility that was blocking him, walks into more utility. A nasty setup.
Nice rip,
Lurking
Batman.
around the edge of the smoke. They saw, okay, they've got all this utility. At least it's probably clear. And it wasn't. 3-2, a flawless round. And a huge start
Veg
from
burger,
GE because
egg
they have just
noodles.
built up a hell of a lot of credits after
How
some
many
much closer
ultimates will
rounds.
be used
Fair
in
play to
round
Batman there
6?
as well. I mean, Lysor ripped his head off with that stinger, or at least his helmet, but
1.
manages to find the correction just in time, walks out of there with 3 kills, and
What is egg
although
noodles?
the round probably wouldn't get out of control even if he does lose that fight.
Like
It's an extra weapon
noodles
carried
and
forward and
skewer
less chances
omelette?
for XLG to do damage. A 2-0 start for that attack side, but XLG now lose the lead. GE seem to have complete control. Credits come back online, big buy coming in, one away from a run it back,
French
one away
fries,
from a Hunter's
okay.
Fury. XLG have no shortage of opportunities in this round, but they're going to go very directly to the B site. No utility waiting for them there, but instead there are bodies, a barricade of bodies, and
Nice
nothing but
ult,
picks.
nice
Marga's taken out of the
W.
ult, but he's right in the middle of the open. An easy conversion for Javi. And a 2v5, this buy round, it's going nowhere.
Yeah, I like that now they put the wall down as well. It's
He's
like,
almost died to that spam.
as if it wasn't problematic enough. The B site execution not working and starting to see the same troubles again. A composition, you look at the Jet Phoenix and you go, okay, on the attack, that should be deadly. It should be where you get the
Noodles,
majority
no
of your
idea. I
rounds.
have
Right
never
now,
eat
they are struggling
ordered
to
noodles.
not even get rounds, get kills. Happy Way still alive. though.
Very, very, very rare.
That's why you always be careful picking up against him. Incredible
I don't even
individual
eat
ability, but
non-veg
we're asking a
that
lot
much.
here.
The ult used, it'll give them indication that they can plant on B, sure. But from here, Happy Way has to have a lot of confidence. Leo's 41 HP. I mean, my guy is in trouble, but he has a Hunter's Fury. Happy Way needs to take down some players and buy time, but now the hat comes off the head on the other side, and they know all about this man. It's a bit shaky, and it'll finish that way as well. Pac-Man with a double to put GE on
Veg noodles,
double the
veg
rounds
noodles,
of
I know.
XLG. A pistol gave them a leg up, but they've fallen flat on their face ever since.
Yeah, and I think it is going to be
I
a
haven't
microscope put onto
had-
some of the players in this game because it's a very weird scenario because I think that Raga has been someone that you look regionally, he is fantastic. Like he is someone that always seems to step up. When it gets to the international stage,
only
it's
homemade.
looked very different to the point where
Mostly
I think a
home-
lot of the
homemade
time, a lot of these like
noodles.
top 15, top 20 lists, he normally made it, and then nowadays probably not so much. And I think looking at the Coinbase win condition, he is someone I need to see more from, especially on this Phoenix on the attack. Like, they're going to be feeding him orbs. They're going to be setting him up with no man taking space. So I can forgive a little bit more because he's diving headfirst into all of the utility. But if the follow-up is not there, this Phoenix is kind of wasted. You need to be getting kills to earn those extra orbs together. Run it back to get more kills. It all feeds into itself. And the rest of the utility that we've seen hasn't really done anything just yet.
It's definitely the right moment for a timeout. XLG, when it comes to these buy rounds, like we said, they're not just losing the rounds, they're losing them in a fairly dominant fashion. Even if you look at the timeline, Diffuse in round 6, great. It was 4v2, 5v2 even. And they were given the space.
This
was somewhere where the defense came in and said, let's secure the win.
Instead of just trying to
crush them into dust early on. And if XLG are being given no opportunities to get back in, they've got to start creating some.
Yeah, it's early days. I think the
yes,
pistol gave them that extra bit of a buffer. I can definitely understand why the Voya wants to have a little chat with the team. They've already witnessed this get out of control versus their regional rivals in DRG, and I think we put GE on a slightly higher pedestal.
Restaurant
Immediate. I was about to say,
Have you not realized?
If he had stuck that, that would have been one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my life. But he didn't. Raga already with the trade though, and actually Happyway's found enough that it starts to get a little dangerous until Yudatan finds a double. Even still, these weaker weapons have put them into a 2v2 again. Pac-Man is already walking behind. No. The second they go for the plant, this is a problem. Don't think there's any way that Raga can react to this. Happyway's left in an awkward spot once again, blinded up as he tries to retreat. There was no hope.
Yeah, and that's the problem, right? The camera timing on short, when it's activated, didn't catch Patman. He got a timing, and the fact that there's a trip behind, but he's an omen. So he can easily just teleport past that. It's exactly what they go for. And GE find themselves wrapping up behind very quickly. Despite that, a small blip on the radar is what cost them the round, but they came in with weaknesses. They had stingers and a bandit, and they made that look really good. If they got the plant in there as well, Rarga has the ult and a rifle having been recovered. They can go take short, fight back into the site with ease, go deep into the spawn. There's so many options for them. But GE recovered that nicely. That is good, though, to see a little spark of life from XLG on the low buy rounds. All they have to do is bring that same energy into the full buys.
I think my only worry is we have seen a bit of that already with like some of the earlier low buys that they can do damage.
Keep stalls.
It's just, do they now go back to
for like everything?
Maybe some of the slower, more default rounds. They need to get rid of some of that utility. And wow, Yudatan has at least been caught. I didn't even think he'd get away with one.
Okay with.
Unfortunately, that's another sort
Pani
of
Puri and all chart and all.
Leo, he is 1-7.
And Pav
Hunter's Fury's not going to play a part in this round.
Well, Rarga used his flashes up to get a little bit of control towards Garage. Trying to cause problems for that defense. Create question marks on the map. And for now, at least,
I mean, restaurant में जाके कोई पानी पूरी क्यों ही खाएगा?
These angles, they have to watch the walkthrough in the window. They have to be careful of the wraparound on B. As a result, whenever the fight comes in, they're not going to be in the best position to do anything about it. You look towards this A site, Autumn is completely isolated. He's got 2 trips though, covering long, and a camera watching for the short walk up. If he gets one and gets out, his job is done, and there's an easy reveal. The second trip, not expected, but Happyway converts, and Lysor's there for another. Now XLG are heating up, and the A site plant is locked in.
They found the weaker site. And while they know exactly where Crystal is as well. We get to see one of those crazy clutch moments for him so far. And with the amount of credits that they currently have, I wouldn't be mad to see him go for this.
No escape.
His previous team facing off against him, but with no spams being found. In fact, they're only found the other way. Lysor to close things out with a triple.
मैंने पूछा था.
And a third round found for XLG after the pause.
Yeah, great opening pick as well. Setting a player up top box and one down a little bit lower makes it almost impossible for an AWP to get a pick and get out of there, regardless of who they're playing.
हिंदी ना समझता
to get ready for the sprint. Yudatan found his pick, but he got punished immediately. XLG get control off of that, then hit a lighter A site and shred every defender that was trying to flood back through. Very nice round from the attack side. And again, just showing us that they can get the work done when it comes to those buy rounds. They don't
English
use
में थोड़ी
everything
थोड़ी
either
आती है
coming through
उसको.
here with the Hunter's Fury.
Just to
that
keep
Bladestorm in the
chat
back pocket.
active, Rishikesh.
I think my only worry
Random
so far
topics पे discuss करना
even going
पड़ता
into
है.
the late round there, not a lot of that utility is being broken. Now, of course, that kind of came through because their Sova got eliminated immediately, so they are going to start doing that. And
ओ
maybe
भाई
just
दोनों
go
की
for a more
shooting हो रही है.
direct take. Already destroying what was thrown down by Crystal, but he's still doing a lot to delay them.
The second player further back is Javi. Won't last very long, and Crystal falls after one. XLG, this is something that was mentioned on the desk. Gaps, weaknesses towards this A site.
Momentum
It
तोड़ो.
doesn't even seem to matter. Definitely feels like the attack have cracked the code to getting the spike planted.
तोड़
And now with the post plant,
दो.
Hunter's Fury is there, but it's on the site. It's not likely to be used.
तोड़
and they've lost
दो.
Happyway. And all
Momentum
coming
तोड़
in from the back lines means they
दो.
fight forward and Nomad
Ult चली जाएगी
brings the
इसकी.
heat for the triple. At this point, the off being saved is probably the best outcome, but he's got to be quick. 30 HP, a stray shot to take him down. Okay, Udaton makes it out, off is saved, but XLG, they are closing this gap round by round.
Yeah, we're starting to see some of those individuals come online. I think No Man's definitely had some quieter series throughout the tournament so far, but the fact that he's heating up the dash into enemies and managing to get a double kill, it puts them one away from their opponents
Hello Pavanji, what's up? Welcome,
for the
welcome.
defense. They are
ए
going to be able to
नीचे
keep
बैठ.
that operator in hand and get a rebuy
उठ
into
कैसे
the
रहा है
next
तू?
round, but I wonder what is the
Lane
moment
player
that
get
maybe we see
clear
a pause on their side, 'cause
yes.
if the momentum starts to flip, or more so if they've just found the gap, that weaker side, because even with the Sentinel in play and some clear knowledge that it would be a push into that A site, they definitely suffered.
दो stream
Instead, though,
करना
they're just
चालू
gonna
कर दूं
stack
क्या
up that side of
guys?
the map.
G looking
बहुत
for good
आलस
control
आ
early with
गया
that
है मेरे
operator.
अंदर.
The smoke makes it a bit more annoying for them. It still seems like they'll get some control for XLG. A different approach. A side had been working, GE come up with a solution, and now the other side of the map gets pressured. Let's listen in with XLG on this push.
तीन
I know exactly where.
Okay, guys. Guys, I go playing open. I go playing open. Nice, guys. 2v5. Step open, come. Nice GT.
दो stream अरे अरे दो stream बोलती
They don't have a small. They don't have a small, guys. I play OT.
I mean one in afternoon and एक watch party.
Don't let them save up. You all have up. No, let me pick.
One gaming stream,
You want play. Guys, chill.
one watch party stream.
It's okay. You ran it.
क्या
Well, you might have a couple of picks for Crystal and Udaton in the end, but that only confirms that they saved their rifles for XLG, showing that that A site isn't the only one they know how to get into. A very direct play from them in this round, and it's working. I like the fact that they go for deeper aggression as well, sensing that it wasn't being as well defended. No smokes called in the end, playing post plant. This is looking like a much
आप
more well-rounded
बैंगलोर से हो ना?
XLG attack side.
Yeah, I think especially
हाँ
the
क्या
fact
कन्नड़
that
बोलते हैं?
they are just now getting more aggressive and challenging for some of those post-plant control. I think when you have a composition like this, if you sit passive, you just don't really have the utility on those duelists to buy additional time. But just being disruptive, and I'm starting to notice that a lot of what G is trying to do on the defense, rather than actually playing into those retakes, which in some of the earlier rounds was actually working for them, they're making hero plays to try and save a teammate that's isolated. Like Patman especially, I think this has been a
तो अभी अब
bit of a
हैदराबाद
flaw
में
at
हो.
times in his game where he wants to try and win the round and sometimes ends up being the one to throw it away. But it was a gamble to try and make a play to help out his teammate on the site, rather
ये
than
बैंगलोर में
almost
हो.
lean into some of those retakes.
Yeah, we saw him run out of garage. Another direct play from XLG. This time more numbers and utility waiting for them. Hunter's Fury still draws first
बैंगलोर
blood.
में ही हूँ.
And Crystal's thinking about
तो
emerging
आपको
from that
तेलुगु
smoke,
कैसे
but
आती
they'll
है?
never make it close. Rarka Spanman through. Great flash on backside.
हे
And
भगवान!
is the current state of the defensive side. The jump over is even going to be potentially heard. And yes, Happyway did.
Nope, no, he
right?
didn't.
Okay. Oh, either way, he gets it right in the end. The op of Udaton. Again, should be denied the ability to save. XLG wanted to stop him last time, and a couple of picks later they gave up, but this time the net is already cast so wide. Happyway is sat on the A side. He's about to have a freebie.
Excuse me.
Udaton is clearing it though.
Fair
And he
play.
hits the shot. All right, fair enough. He's earned that op.
Yeah, he's been trying to be in the right place at the right time over the last couple of rounds, but he's never been in position, and unfortunately, wrong place, wrong time once more.
Cleaning up
on that XLG side, and I have to say, I'm not sure what was said in the pause, be it to be that little bit more aggressive, be more direct, but Havoya has definitely
कर दो
made a
यार
difference,
डिफ्यूज
'cause
बस
I think after round
7
6, he
फाइव
took
हो
the
रहा है
pause. Round 7 was an eco, and then from then onwards, they've won every single round.
Well, one more to
मैं
play
थर्ड
for after a
जनरेशन
5-round
इन
streak
कर्नाटका
from
आई नो
GE.
बोथ
Their
कन्नड़
lead is
एंड
being
तेलुगु
taken over
अरे मैं
by
तेलुगु बात करते
XLG,
हो
and there's a chance that they could be trailing at the halftime, fighting to be even Stevens. And we move into the next, and that's a pixel angle for Crystal with huge value. Arga down, and that's one part of their site pushes dealt with, and the other part has an operator. Yeah.
हिंदी है ऑफिस में हिंदी बोलते होंगे वो नहीं बैंगलोर में तो हिंदी होती नहीं होगी भाई सॉरी
Immediate response, jump over the top, but Autumn not able to find anything. Operator going to be swinging in, it's not even needed. They are winning every single battle on the XLG side, and
मतलब तुम्हें
Crystal's ult is available, but it's one
कन्नड़
that
आती है तेलुगु आती है इंग्लिश
really
आती है
works
हिंदी
with
आती है
reduced
4
numbers.
लैंग्वेज आती है भाई
is going to try and throw it in just to clear the backside, but there was nobody there, leaving everybody with knowledge of where he is, and an easy closeout in the end for WS Leo. 7-5 from the position they were at.
दो लोग उठ गए
XLG
भाई
have climbed right back into this game.
This has been an excellent resurgence from XLG. Like you said,
Pan
5
India
and 2
Pavan.
down. They dug deep. They found solutions across the map. They played a clean game, and individuals are
Thanks to
starting to heat up
DD
and look
national
confident.
channel,
It
I
definitely
watched it for
seems
7
like
years.
GE could be
वो
in
तुम
danger.
टीवी
You
देख
know
के
what? It is a good day
हिंदी
to be
सीखे
an
हो
XLG
my
fan, at
god
least here in half number 1. There is plenty more
Damn,
Valorant to
babe.
come, but you know, speaking about XLG having a good old time, we're going to go down to the stage where we've got a very special interview standing by. We've got someone called Laxi, XLG's mascot.
Laxi, you look stunning. Thank you very
अरे
much.
बाप
Eva.
रे ये कौन है
Laxi is here, our XLG mascot. She's here to tell us more about the new map that's going to be revealed on June 21st. What can you tell us, Laxi? I did not know you could do that on a map. That is insane.
अरे हमें भी तो बताओ
Than ever. Can you tell us anything about what inspired this map, Laxi? Wow. Literally mark it in your calendars right
Typing
now.
in Hindi
June
thanks to
21st.
Siri
We've got
ka
an
stream I
epic
learn
show
Hindi
match
typing.
on the cards before the grand finals. Laxi, are you going to be playing in the match?
सीरी भी तो अब भी हिंदी ज़्यादा बोलने
Laxi's got
लगी
hair
है I
appointments,
guess
but it's fine because she'll be watching from the
RP
makeup
की वजह
chair.
से
Thank you so much, Laxi. Thank you so much, XLG fans. Let's get back into the game.
सीरी भी तो दुबई रहती थी
Did you book it together, Tom?
Yeah, I actually also have the hair appointment that day.
Oh, okay. You're both going for the dye. Which team's colors are you going to get in?
Blue.
My favorite team. All right, 7-5. XLG, they've got the lead at the halftime. An impressive streak matching what GE put forward with 5 rounds of their own. Now the lead is theirs and a chance to take it to GE on their own map pick. Remember, Global Esports wanted to take Haven into the map pool, perhaps thinking that it was a weakness for XLG, who struggled against their regional
There
rivals.
will be
But you know what?
share
A lot has
second
changed
half
in a very short period of time.
yes
XLG looking like they came here to play. They're not far away from winning.
Yeah, unfortunately for G, it does seem like they're a little bit cursed with their map choices. It happened yesterday, they were able to turn the series around, but for their sake, you got to hope that they've come in with a solid attack side. It's been a rough start to the game for Autumn, someone who was
she's the person I started watching so watching stream na
in their
deep
series yesterday, but there's still a
how
second
did
half
you
to be played.
find
The
her
defensive
stream
side of this comp can be very difficult. Already, Raga caught. The same can be said for Noman, but he had support
जी को
on
क्या
the
हुआ
side. Lysol
पता
trying to
नहीं
hold the line, but running out of bullets, and well, I didn't have any friends to play with. 2 stand. Can they turn this pistol?
But this Chinese teams are built different for real.
Patman's quick to put him in his place, leaving Leo 1 versus 4. you know, that's definitely not in his favor. The deadlock wall certainly doesn't help out. I would say the trip behind, but they certainly already know where he is. That'll be a cleanup for GE and a chance to put things level at 7-7 if they can win the anti-eco.
Yeah, that's the thing. It'll be both teams having a pistol, both teams winning 5 rounds in a row. Talking about them being scrim partners playing against each other regularly, it almost seems like this one's been mapped out.
Pavanji, what is your go-to
looking at GE on the attack? Like you kind of expect
order,
having that double
like in
senti
cafe
to
or
maybe
restaurant?
help you out on the defensive side. But I also do think that a lot of deadlock compositions have potential on the attack, at least to clear angles, make things that little bit more awkward, not leave you with safe space to stand in. So I definitely want to see
mighty
what ideas they have.
recommendation
It will,
में
however, put a lot of
RP का
pressure onto
stream
Yudotan.
serious with that
Over
person
on that
doing
neon.
मतलब किसी और के
Has to be
stream
that
से
hard
आपको
entry
सीरी
for
का
the
stream
majority of
मिला
rounds,
ऐसा
and at least in this one, a bit of a slower paced default. Of course, maybe even expecting there to be a stack, which there is. Although I will say at the moment, Autumn is walking directly into it. Of course, he's normally a lurk player, so this is kind of what you want from him.
Oh, it's a good thing the wall was in the way there.
It didn't look like it was, but you know.
No, it didn't, but pretty sure I saw him
What?
out of the head not go down. Autumn finds himself one, does some damage, loses a Marshall. It is what it is. If anything, confirmation for the rest
एक
of the
global
squad
esports से
that
बहुत
the
लोग
seaside
vote
is
कर
the
रहे
right
हैं
way to go. The spike can make it there. It's been sprinting ever since he went down.
रेस्टोरेंट तो
Just now
जाते
making towards the
रहेंगे
site.
ऑर्डर
Deep
तो करते
position from
रहेंगे
Pac-Man.
एटलीस्ट घर
This
पे
is a big risk, but he should fly under the radar. You never really expect someone to be embedded in a round like this. And it
Oh
means
my
coming up for Pac-Man.
fucking
But he also
god.
had nothing to lose. I think that's the best thing about it. They kill him, they get a ghost. He's at least delayed them a little bit, and he can give the
Damn
information
भाई
over.
Batman.
He even threw down a deeper smoke to go like, okay, yeah.
अबे
you need to
रेंजलर
play
किधर
into
गया
this
भाई
site from here.
एक क्वेश्चन है तेरे
And
लिए
instead, he's able to farm them up. 7-7. Level once again.
बैटमैन
Gee,
टॉप फ्रैग
it's
कर
not
रहा है
the greatest of bonus rounds, but Patman getting that many additional kills
बिरयानी
means
for
he
the
can now
win
invest
oh,
into a Vandal. They will, of course, be
कौन सी
coming up
बिरयानी
against 5 rifles on the other side, though.
Yeah, but you take a look at what GE have to work with for the next. I mean, the money is stacked very high after a light buy in the previous.
oh
Pac-Man.
my
He might have had a
god
big play in the
controller
previous
down
round, but this one amounts to nothing. Great response from Leo. And XLG have the man advantage to work with. Good stun, but there's a second layer to this defense. Rarga was standing by, and that's completely caught Yudotan off guard. Rarga with another, and the Molly buying more time, allowing them to break this wall, or at least have it decently broken. Oh, this is a problem.
They've done so much damage, though. Harvey
nice
is desperately low, but even still, the bullet's not connected.
ये
Nice
भाई
the gun, though. And Harvey is just trying to run for the hills. I think realizing that, yeah, you know what, on 4 HP, planting pretty much anywhere on that site would have been an immediate death sentence.
कराज क्यों जा रहा है
I think
पी
though
जा
he
रहा
was
है
hoping that
पी जा
maybe they rotate away. That's all he really has, is the element of surprise. And if they just wait and play this together on the XLG side,
30 seconds left.
there
चिकन
is no element of
बिरयानी
surprise
और
because at
मटन
some point
बिरयानी
he has
बहुत
to plant.
चलेगा
And it even seems like they're
चलेगा
beginning to make the rotation.
order
Maybe he
ले-
was hoping for a
order
little bit
okay
earlier. They are
submitted.
very close by.
Yeah, the drone gets around in time, so they're not even worried about the gong. They know exactly where he is, and now, well, now it is exactly pinpoint with a reveal up top.
तू भी
He
मारते
hasn't
भाई
gone to
रिवील
mid. They got there in time to fill in that space. The dots connected. Javi is going to have a sensational performance, and he almost had it. A shot fired at each player. Luckily, they didn't land. XLG are back in the lead.
Yeah, not bad for a bonus round, but I also think it wasn't really the weapons that you expected to do the damage in the bonus round. Patman with one of the only rifles fighting alone, and then Yudotan doing the same. It was definitely a bit of a, I guess, disjointed, more surprise factor style round out from GE, which you can kind of expect in those low buys, but now they come in with the full investment.
रियल भगवान क्या बात है
Raga will, however, have that run it back online. Definitely still yet to see the level we know we can from Raga on this Phoenix. But with them being in the lead, I don't think it matters so much.
Scanning ahead.
मेरा
lead even without seeing it exactly. The chance for him to have
coffee,
his moment
fries,
doesn't feel too
pizza,
far away.
pasta.
For G, it's going to have to be great usage of this double sentinel comp while on the attack. It can be hard at times, but was certainly a period where the double sentinels looked better on the attack side than on the
यही रहता है
defense
मेरा mostly order.
across a lot of the regions. Whether they can make it work is a different story.
Cage triggered.
मार
One's
देता
gonna be
भाई head.
spotted outside of A. They have no notion that no man's in this spot. That cage is going to go down very soon, and he could have himself a freebie. He wasn't peeking.
He's just holding the control. Oh, okay. It was a reaction shot from Autumn. Like, you see the swing come out to maybe try and get an individual fight.
Vegetarian
And Autumn's managed to get the
बोल
kill. And we
सकते हैं वैसे
even
मैं
had our own
नॉनवेज
third
खाती
person
नहीं हूँ
observer for
ज़्यादा,
that
मेरे को
one.
पसंद नहीं है.
In the form of
मेरे
Harvey.
घर पे सब खाते हैं.
Even still, though, they're walking into what is the senti
कहाँ
setup.
से आप? मैं मुंबई से हूँ.
On that side and still spread across the map is the rest of GE. A chance to maybe try and
आप
respond
कहाँ से
over the
हो?
top of this. Plant not coming in just yet, but immediate double kills up for the global esports side. Raga's ult not likely to do too much in this moment as he was blocked out by all of the
Nice.
Caught in the back by Crystal anyway, who closes it with 3. A flawless round for GE into their attack side by. And guess what? We're level again.
That was a really nice play by Crystal. He decides to play much further behind the pack, deeper into Garage. And the response a lot of the time from that backside has been to put the paranoia through. Lysor fires the paranoia. I think it catches 2 or 3 players, but it doesn't catch Crystal. So once he goes to TP, the man in Garage has clear sight lines on him, takes him down. And that avoided what could have been a really nice fight back from Lysor up on that plat. Instead, 8-8. XLG challenged and forced down to pistols. This should be Global Esports taking themselves the lead.
Yeah. Well, that's going to help. I was going to say they've always been pretty good in these rounds, but when you have that mid trap and lose a player so early on A, there has to be that little itch scratching your brain that you need to rotate off of this mid control.
तब
They are sticking around.
रन टीम की हुआ मतलब
There is
सीरी
potential
सीरी
for
का
an
सीरी
isolated
को लेके
fight.
बोल रहे हो क्या?
Cage triggered.
Looking at Patman as the one, because he does like, even in low buys, Patman I feel like he likes to make some audacious plays, but for now at least, oh no, they're running back.
Yeah, they've gone to the players on A. A space has been taken there, but the problem is the spike has to make it across already. One pickup for XLG. This
50 नहीं
early
जाना
push
चाहिए
getting them
भाई.
in a really nice position. Crystal's made it out. Wall behind as well, just to contain. And a 4v3 from this spot
Plant
doesn't
नहीं हुआ
look
अभी
too
तक.
bad for GE.
30
It
seconds
got a
left.
bit scary and Argo will heal up a little bit. Happy Ways managed to find one. Even damage here would be nice, but we're starting to see the step up of Autumn. Okay, Patman.
That is basically
Both of these
सबका
players are in
comfort
a bit of a
food.
shaky spot, but never mind. Autumn there to
Goodbye,
save the
4K
day.
ले लिया
After a
Autumn.
very slow start to the game as well, he's now level. And GE find
आपके बिना
themselves back in the
स्वर्ग
lead
नरक
again.
लगने लगा था तो आ गया. Oh
Yeah,
my
that's
god.
4-1 in this half for XLG. It was a solid start, as we said, with the 2-0 up on the pistol. But they took a while to get into that first half. 5-round streak from GE that they had to fight back through. Now, GE get another very successful early half. This time, the pistol added to the equation. And if this keeps on going, XLG are going to run out of time, out of runway very, very quickly. Calling for a timeout here. We're going to take a moment.
Well, you remember what happened in the last half. He took a timeout, they played one eco round, and then they won 5 rounds in a row. So
Yeah, it's the eco. Yeah, you're right.
I would say Voya's pause so far in this series have been pretty good. Obviously, it is only the first of the lot. And for the second, he kind of needs to have the
XLG
same amount of
timeout
impact.
liya.
But this time it's going into a buy round. You've got the operator that will be coming up for No Man as well. You're going to have the rifles on the remainder. My one worry is, even though there's a Hunter's Fury on both sides, I'm looking at that deadlock ult. I feel like on attack especially,
मैंने जानबूझ
even if
के
you don't hit anyone, you
light
can
low
clear
रखा है
a
string light.
ridiculous amount of angles with that ultimate, and especially if you are running
क्योंकि
like
मैं
a, I
legit
don't know,
बहुत
solo
time से
Cypher
इधर
setup,
बैठी
which
हूँ.
we have seen in quite a lot of rounds, double duelist aggress somewhere, solo Cypher. If that Cypher gets caught,
मैंने बस ऐसे
you're almost
moisturize
screwed
किया
up
है.
rip.
Ace बाकी कुछ नहीं करा है.
Let's see if XLG have
Over there.
figured this one out here on the defense. Flash in the pan, winning the third round, but that's how you expect that early half to go. Anti-eco is all they've got under their belt. An immediate idea from Crystal to pop the ultimate, closing the distance towards this A site. Target selection here, it's going down below. That's a perfect hit.
Oh my fucking god, what an ult.
Can you plant? Get ready. It is safe. Kill, get.
Omen TP somewhere.
Kill, can you plant? Yeah. Find you, kill. Miss fine. Not for long, guys. Guys, listen. Long and short plan. Guys, I have flash, I can watch heaven on camera, okay? Yeah. I have ulti, guys. I have heaven on cam. I have CT also. I have the stun. Cannot come out yet. Probably gonna save. Yeah, they save.
Yeah, go take them.
They had money.
You don't will pick, don't pick.
Okay, this is kind of exactly what I was talking about, isn't it? They get the opener with that ultimate, they get into the post plan. Now, I will say, this time they actually went into the heavier stack site, but because two players were isolated out and it was only one player in, there was no chance for breaking that ult. I also, there's one small detail that I really like from Crystal, and that is he did not buy a rifle this round. I see so many players running in with that deadlock ult, and they just get shot in the face, and so you've just thrown away credits. He goes, I know I'm going to do that. I know I'm going to run straight in. I'm just going to buy a stinger. And then, if I get a guy, I can take his gun. It's given them a little economic boost. It's given them an opener. And well, they're going to try and take the guns away. And there is Crystal with that rifle, who's going to manage to take down No Man.
अगर Crystal मरता अभी No Man से.
It's funny saying the guy's in the middle of the board right now, Crystal, but his impact in every map is tangible, and then sometimes he just pops up with like close to a 30 bomb. Like, this is such a valuable player to have. Thinking back to yesterday, it was the Pearl up against Full Sense, right, where he managed to flank like 4 players in one round.
Here, basically,
this guy has been a menace.
दोपहर में थोड़ी देर बैठी थी, like
it's funny as well because for him this game
3
is
hours.
personal. He was on XLG, of course, in the tier 2. The import rule is 2. When you get to tier 1, it goes down to 1. That meant they had to make a choice.
मेरे को पता नहीं क्या होगा, मैं फोन देखते देखते मेरे को नींद आ गई, मैं सो गई, फिर पता नहीं आतिका मैसेज आया तो उठ गई.
Now he has the chance to send them packing himself, send the players, send the org that didn't decide to keep him, and what a happy way.
6:30 बजे.
Pressure here, but he is going to survive.
फिर वापस कॉफी पी के
One of the 2 rifles for
इधर आ गई
XLG,
मैं.
but they've pushed him off the site. He'll be ready for the retake, although sporting a few scars from that earlier battle.
7:30 को.
Here we go. Wall broken. Drone going in. Flank going to be attempted as well by No Man. Updraft used already to get over the trip. This is dangerous. Everybody from G is focused on the site. They have no idea that No Man's here. He updrafted just as they stepped out of range. But now there's a smoke down on long. He can't fight through that. And so the fight on backside is... It's completely easy for GE. Everything... No Man! And Crystal bails them out again. 40 HP in it. That flank had the potential to change the game, but they got just enough done before he arrived.
Give me the Crystal replay right now. Give me what he was doing in that moment. Oh, if I saw that across the stage, I'd be so mad. I do like the adaptation from GI. I think they started to realize that they were completely trapped.
Same reaction, boys. Same reaction.
My man is having a great time and climbing up that board. 11-8. This attack side has started to run away like the first half, but it hasn't stopped. That's the difference.
What do you feel about life? There are so many humans here on Earth. We have so many choices to make, so many relations, friends,
it didn't look that way. Okay, TP from Pac-Man caught.
But do we know the
Braga's gonna immediately just send his ult through, caught by the stun.
Nice.
Made sure that didn't go any further.
Again, it feels like every round Crystal has that high impact. Life Thor, what a shot! And he almost corrected as well. GE find themselves a man down, facing into the operator. It's only going to get worse, and now Blade Storm's activated. No Man is not losing this round. Not if he has anything to say about it. Leo, it's easy, as can be. 37 health on Javi. Managed to avoid the spray from Leo, but the shot from No Man's a different story. 11
for GE,
but now 9 for XLG. The gap is closing slowly.
Yeah, not too far behind, and a faster pace attempt in that round initially from GE. It felt like when that didn't go to plan, the backup plan was just to try and retreat back into the B site, and it looked like XLG from start to finish were well aware, especially after the run it back. Even if you get caught, you cleared out a lot of that space.
ये क्वेश्चन का आंसर तो मैं कोई नहीं दे
a couple of
सकता भाई.
targets as well. And again, we're going to see that pressure put towards C from them. They're going to know early that it isn't this side of the map. It's just how early do G decide to go the other way? Or are they going to walk back into this operator?
Right here.
Thankfully, I don't think anyone's rounding that corner before the drone clears it. And the op shot fired gives the game away. 2 players spotted. XLG no, actually 3. They know that Sova was close as well.
Nice.
Ready for Uniton to just walk in.
What?
I'm so perplexed. They had so much information. They saw him step forward when last they looked, and moments later, they're blindsided by a man that told them he was coming.
Good.
Good stuff
Very
too.
good.
Lysor
Very good.
dodges it.
But इसके पीछे कोई आया क्यों नहीं?
Not sure what the idea was there, but well, styling on him hasn't worked out. The flank has though.
Yeah, no, a great round from Uniton. I will say, the fact that it seemed like he also knew 2 players were there and just went for it. There was no teammate anywhere even remotely close. That was just it. Like, look at the map. It's mental that he just went, all right, I'm just going to win this round for the team.
There was an op there. Like, that is I completely agree. A crazy repeat to go for.
That is literally a man who doesn't give a damn. Like, that is what I've just witnessed. And well, you know, he's having a good laugh about it because he has just won them the round. That's got to be infuriating as well for XOG. You have the right setup to stop him, and you just get wrecked.
Oh, there's no table strong enough to survive the bash that it's getting after that one. For XLG. Oh, no, the barrel pointing through for Autumn. He's been sold down the river. That's at least going to be the man advantage for XLG in a crucial round. Ult used by GE. They get space. They find the C site. But XLG are waiting as well. They still have a camera for when they go for the retake. What they won't have is Rarga.
Eventually. He's not in a bad position, but it definitely seems like they know there could be a player here. Even still, though, Leo's done well. Trade back as well, putting it into a more advantageous position. A singular kill will get Harvey his ult, but they are being flanked again.
Take it easy.
Of course, all of that scythe utility is gone. Well, so is Uniton as well. Harvey needs a clutch for the ages, but he's already managed to. He's being revealed and flanked, but the fight in front's a little bit ahead. Also gets the last, but finally No Man strikes from the back. That 1v4 shouldn't have even been close. But, you know, he makes it look pretty good.
This time the flank from No Man works out. Thankfully, he didn't have 2 targets to deal with. 12 to 10 and 2 chances. Again, though, with how this started for XLG, I love the setup they went for. Happyway's so smart to just tuck in. Here's some utility being placed, but doesn't jump the gun. Waits for his teammate to take a fight, and then he's there to catch the player who's trying to trade onto his buddy. Very nicely done.
I love the change in emotions immediately. It was very close. It was very close from Harvey, but they are, again, it's only down to 2 rounds. This half especially has felt very good.
Outlaw. Look at the outlaw buy from Uniton. It's nasty. He's just been wall banged through that wall on long down to 55, but he's going to be able to one-shot hit anybody except for Lysor.
And Happyway has no shields. So I guess clearly the credits on the other side of it have really been brought low just by the amount of damage that was done by Harvey in the last round. Even still, though, G set up with multiple ultimates, but they're just waiting. Especially with this double duelist, you expect aggression. You expect someone eventually to have to go looking for information.
Oh, there it was.
They didn't quite manage to catch the kill.
It's only a matter of time before someone faces Uniton. The spike making it back to the C side. Here comes the peak off the back of the Hunter's Fury. They're trying to force players out of position, and they've done that. But Crystal was the one to fall. A nice shot by No Man, and that's immediately got G to cancel this push and look elsewhere. But meeting up with Autumn might not be the play.
Wow.
Well, that's an awkward reveal. They're not fully pushed up short. That's good information from Leo to have, I suppose.
20 seconds left. Time ticking down. Raga in position, but he's lost his teammate. Now he's the only one remaining on this site, but he gets support from above. shutting it down at least for now. 10 seconds for the remaining players of G to get in, and they find both kills. No man, he maybe just needs to survive. In fact, he does. No, he doesn't get away. Pat catches him. G will close their map choice just about.
Damn,
and go in with a lead
bye.
for the second.
A 13-10. Well, it was a close matchup in the end. XLG came through. They started to heat up after a bit of a slow start, but now only embers remain of what could have been a strong opening. Over to map 2, Lotus, after the break.
Good, like, good freaking match. Wait. Oh. Finally break, yeah, few minutes only. मेरी मम्मी घर पे नहीं आई क्या अभी तक? एक सेकंड देना, मैं देख के आती हूँ। थोड़ा सा इंसान बन के आती हूँ मैं, अगर आई होगी तो। अभी भाई मैं इंसान बन के थोड़ा सा इंटरनल कॉन्फ्लिक्ट चल रहा है भाई इनका
And go tell them. Listen.
Probably a little bit stressful for global esports throughout that map there, but at this point, the game plan's been set. It looks like Global was really prepared
Practice
for
stream,
this, but at times, you
yeah.
know, little small mistakes cost them rounds.
Yeah, for sure. I love how Frost is never happy. That is how I like my coaches.
No one at
'cause
home.
There's always room to improve. So I love that
my
attitude from him. I
mom
think that G had that
wasn't
double
home.
senti comp, and they like it's what I would call a checkmate comp. If you don't know how to play against it,
So
it's
she
miserable.
just
And I don't think
came,
XOG had the great
but
plans today.
I
They
had
weren't
no
taking map
idea.
control. They
Then
weren't
she got
faking out
back.
the Sentinels. They weren't breaking the utility. There was a
थोड़ा
nice
सा
timeout
इंसान
that
अरे
came in
हाँ
later from
भिखारी
Mahoya,
जैसे तो
but
बैठी
it
थी
was
मैं
essentially just a very simple, let's just go A and try and win there. And that worked. But yeah, I think that tough
थोड़ा
loss
एसी
for
में ठंडा हो
XOG.
के आ गई
Yeah,
मैं
thankfully that timeout that came in though kind of helped them even up at the half towards towards that half there, and then at the end I think it's one of those ones where you're looking at global esports and you're starting to look at the individuals here
I
now
need
stepping
to,
up when it really matters most, you know, considering that elimination is on the line today.
क्या बोलते
that's
रूम को
right. I
फिल
mean,
करना चालू
XLG
करना पड़ेगा
did
मेरे
have
को
good timeouts, but overall, global esports reading that much better. And there's a player that we've been talking
Hi,
about a lot.
Bunny,
It's
what's
Patman.
up?
Yesterday,
हाँ
we were like, we
ना।
need to put out the Pat
अरे वही
signal.
घटिया
But it
सा
sounds like
चीज
he's
ऑर्डर करा था
come
मैंने
and put on his Pat suit and he's ready to go.
Yeah, he was a key player in a lot of these holds, I feel like. Of course, they had the Sentinel utility on the extremities, and then he was just running around, doing his thing, flooding into these sites, anchoring really well. And that's the Pat I love to see.
It's a good sign that Pat is turning up, because I think that as
Batman
much as it's
finally
great
put
that
on
kind
his
of
Pat suit.
these other players that we've highlighted, Crystal and Yudatan and the likes, I think that global esports just feel like a completely different team when you actually have the more experienced players such as Patman being able to show
भाई
up on the
बहुत
stage.
इम्पोर्टेंट था
Yeah,
इनको
it
वो
helps
राउंड
so much.
निकालना मैंने डेस्कटॉप चालू किया क्या किया क्या चीज चिकन लोडेड चीज़ी फ्राइज जिसमें चीज़ कम सॉस ज़्यादा था केचप प्लस टमाटर
Has got firepower and danger if they win today going into the playoffs.
Yeah, that's right. And, you know, that's why some of us have them going to top 4. I think this is definitely, I mean, jokes aside, I do think this
चिकन
is
के
one of the dark
पीसेस भी
horse
इतने बड़े बड़े डाल
teams of
रखे
the
थे भाई
tournament. And again, while some of them are on the global stage for the very first time, a lot of the players have a lot of experience. And it's just so interesting now that we're seeing how these two teams who are so familiar with each other are reading each other. And now with Lotus on the horizon, I'm very curious how this is going to be panning out. The last time Global Esports played Lotus, the last 2 times, wasn't great. It was against Paper X though, so maybe there's a case for that.
Yeah, Paper X pretty good at Lotus, so I'll give them a free pass. But the interesting thing was G were playing the exact same composition XOG were playing.
Yeah, they
so
yoinked it.
yoinking
from
the triple senti
They
comp.
literally yoinked it.
So you can tell that they are scrim partners and they were practicing it. Didn't really work out. But I do want to hear what the XLG coach has to say ahead of map 2.
Here with Coach Huboya of XLG. Huboya, 10-13 was the score line. What was supposed to happen on Haven for you guys that kind of didn't happen?
I think we gave too much control for the Cypher because he was solo taking a lot of the zones, same as Patman when he was playing Omen. I think we should take a little bit more deep space in defense. And overall, we just maybe panic in the crucial situation, but I think we are doing much better than yesterday. So let's see how Lotus goes.
All right, thank you so much. And
They're gonna
listen,
start
back
doing
to
it
the server.
Okay, would you guys agree with that? They're doing much better than yesterday? Because that's what coach.
Yeah, I mean, I also really agreed with his reads there. Like,
Yeah.
it seems like Havoy is always giving good answers. It's just that maybe sometimes the execution in the server isn't there. On that defense, they should have been taking a lot of space. The attack side there didn't have lots of utility. So I think that there's always a little bit of perception coming out from him. It's just whether the team can execute on it or not.
Well, we were talking about Lotus just now, and you were saying that Global Esports, the last time they played this, they were lifting XLG's
It was
comp didn't
tasting
work
like
out.
loaded
Do you think this is gonna
nachos,
come back
more
out
like
again
fries.
today? Because again, when you're playing like a team, like XLG is a very different team than Paper X.
अलग-अलग cafes का अलग-अलग style होता है वैसे, ठीक है।
GE, I don't know. I can never
It's a
guess
fail.
what they're going to come up with.
It's a
The
1
fact
of 5
that they've played the comp knows that they should know some of the weaknesses.
Yeah.
They did lose 13-4 though, so maybe they really do know the weaknesses.
GE. I think they've changed
fighter.
composition
Guys,
like 3
what
times
is
on
your
this single
favorite
map alone,
thing
never
to
mind
do?
what they change from week to week. And that's what I was kind of talking about
Like,
as we went
if
into
you're
that
not
last stage of select, is
working,
how sustainable
what
is
will
that,
you do?
especially at a global event. And it looks as though they are going to steer away from the triple sentinel mini and instead going for that double duelist.
Yoinking the Paper X comp instead. Losing the Paper X. Yeah, we'll just play that comp. They lost 13-4 playing XLG's comp when Paper X were running this composition. So maybe it's going to be a very Paper X heavy strategy from them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm intrigued to see those anti-strats come through. We've spoken about how great they are in doing that, but I think Autumn being on the Jet is a key component for me. We spoke to him yesterday about transitioning from that Sentinel mindset into something like an
French
entry.
fries
We saw it on the
with
Phoenix
tomato
yesterday.
sauce.
We're seeing it on the Jet today.
I'm not sure how GE are going to go around the map and breaking all this utility. Their composition is all in. So
Tomato
maybe the
sauce
strategy
क्या
is
था, हो
just
गया
ignore the
नहीं,
walls,
Bob.
dive over them, and get in the
Playing
face
cricket,
of XLG.
watching
Well, it
movie
seems to be
anime.
working really so far, especially on Haven. We saw rounds like that getting in their face and catching them off guard, even though they do know each other so well. Well, Global Esports is 1 map away to qualifying to playout.
Watching
Let's
movie.
see if XLG can bring it back as we send it back to our casters.
Thank you, Victoria. XLG certainly putting on a better face when it comes to Haven, and now they come to a map where, well, we've seen them challenge NRG not too long ago. They didn't win it, but it was a very close affair. I think my hopes are definitely high that we can get a 3rd map out of this one.
Yeah, I definitely expect it. GE are trying to
Autumn
choose
का
a Paper X
secondary
comp to
role
beat
duelist
a comp that they were running. And I've learned in life trying to copy Paper X is a gamble and a half.
या फिर वो 4 second बनने की try कर रहा है.
We'll see if it
Like
works
कोई
out
तो
for
मर गया
them.
इधर.
Through the smoke they go, and what Happy Way has just met almost the entirety of the opposing team. One player has just been stuck behind the wall, by the way, all the way back towards the spawn, and they are still looking to fight even further forward. Lysor is waiting. But now that he's seen the aggression, that's where GE decide to go back.
Well, GE are now looking to fight in water, but that net could be huge. They've got so many. XLG should walk out of here with a lot of kills, and in fact, they very much do.
भाई pistol
A
round
1-0
क्यों हार रहे हैं हम
start
लोग?
to the defensive side. And again, this is where they were putting on a very good show up against NRG on the defense.
बस मेरा
Starting out with
message
a
ignore
pistol,
कर दिया. मुझे पता है
definitely a
तुम
good sign.
कौन हो.
Yeah, for sure. Like you go back to even before playing against NRG, and regionally, once they started playing this comp, I think it was 3 different appearances. They lost 9 rounds total. So I think it was a 13-2, a 13-0, a 13-7. So this is a composition that teams in China at least will have been trying to beat and failing.
Friends
And
together.
sure, GE
Okay,
obviously will
okay.
have come in and they know their scrim partner, they know the comp, they know what's coming. Doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to have the ability to beat it. Already though. A 5 Spectre buy. It means that, I'd say at least on the A site, there's some vulnerabilities in this weapons range, but on the rest of the map, on B and C, you can play a lot of close angles. Of course, in this round, they're not up against much.
Well, yeah, those Spectres are going to shred
What about
anybody that they come up against.
my favorite?
As long as they can get those first shots off. Nice paranoia. There's not going to be much a chance for Yuditan to even make it out alive. That said, he survives a little longer, gets traded out on. Not bad damage if they can get a few more. That looks questionable. Okay, Javi's done well. Oh, Javi's done very well. He was caught there by the net, and Crystal now has a chance. Still just a classic to work with, and no man will get him in the end. But you know, Tom, when you come in with 5 Spectres, you don't want to be getting out with just 2.
Yeah, no, you kind of expect that to almost come home as a relatively clean round when your opponents have nothing to play with. But it was just Harvey at the back of the site that made that one incredibly costly. It means there's not going to be a lot to play with here, other than, of course, the bounds
मैंने
of
बोला
utility
मैं क्यों बताऊं?
that are available for XLG. And I will say, going into this map, something that does excite me is seeing Autumn back on the duelist. I think over the last couple of days, that has been where he truly shines. already. Some aggressive space taken, a bit of a shaky fight initially, and in fact, Lightsaw has been able to bring this back to, I was going to say, an even scenario, but eventually Pac-Man caught him.
Yeah, with 2 pistols left to try to take these fights on such a big map as well, it's going to be hard to find any value. XLG, though, have Happy Way's utility covering off C. They've got a camera outside that's giving a ton of information. Very deep control. And a lot of utility sat on the B site, albeit without No Man. 2 of those sensors won't do anything. So really, all they have to worry about is the A site. All they have to worry about is Leo taking a fight. But tucked in this corner, there is the... No, they're going to check. Of course they are. Autumn first around the corner, nicely done. And now planting the 3v1.
Happy Way. It now comes down to damage, and if he continues on this trajectory, they're going to get the information very early that he could be coming from behind. That's the problem. There is still the wall in play, and there you go with it being tripped immediately. They know that they can take towards the spawn. Just look at Crystal. He's already walked all the way back around and is just watching in case he comes back through B. The rest of the players can just hold on to the cross. It becomes incredibly difficult. Now, the one good thing about Happy Way is he's found a rifle. Has enough to buy into the next round, but also he can start to question, do I just want to hold on to this gun instead?
Well, exits would be very valuable for him, but stepping into Crystal's angle has one outcome, and one
Sleeping
outcome
with
only.
living in
2 to 1.
dreams. Cute
And
dream
look,
world.
again, this is the early half we expect. You win the pistol, you win the follow-up anti-eco, and now you come
For
into this.
some
the
reason,
bonus,
I
the
don't know,
loser.
मेरी नींद
It
नहीं
all
हो रही है
goes
और
as expected. When we talk about the defensive side for XLG, we know that in buy rounds, when the footing is even, they have a very good chance after what we
क्या
saw
बोलते
against
हैं
NRG.
intervals में
So this round,
सो रही हूँ मैं एकदम.
really where I expect to see that turn around. You can see right away on the A site, they're going to try some aggression. Rarga's going to put that slow down, stopping G from taking space, but with a dash online, Autumn can still make it across.
Round 3 का कैसे आ रहा है?
The blast pack's got Udaton there. The TP got Patman in. They are committing to this fight on GE's side. There's a lot more bodies than they might expect here, though.
This is the benefit of this
बताओ
comp,
भाई.
but already Udaton walking into angles has managed to find a couple. In fact, that's his 3rd of the round already. Raga, with a couple of low enemies, had a chance, but...
There's flank coming in.
Yeah, they're both just waiting. They're almost just trying to bait. They're making sounds while not giving anything away, like maybe trying to get him to keep looking. Well, Crystal maybe just a little bit early on that one. But they can now just rotate back in the other direction. Raga given slightly more of an opportunity. Actually, that's Rez.
Yeah, but look who's waiting around. Crystal hasn't fled the scene. Instead, he's still waiting on the A site.
Nice
He'll find
distraction
himself
by
to close to the round. The second for GE in the lead, no longer in XLG's hands.
Solid round from Udaton as well.
Oh, yeah.
By isolation. Some of that individual brilliance that we saw, especially in the series versus Leviathan. And they will now equal. That is an early pause. Lose 2 rounds and immediately going to be seeing a pause called by XLG. That is definitely a surprise. Of course, we know that this defense can be there.
Same चीज PRX करती थी पहले.
Needing to sort of really put up rounds on this side. And I will say, the one thing I do like about this composition in terms of facing off against XLG is that elevation that you can take. Like, even if you go in towards the C site and maybe you have the Sage Wall, you have a load of stuff blocking you, 3 of the players can get through in some manner. 2 a little bit more easier than the rest. And I think that's why this kind of works, because you are basically going, what is the crux of this composition that is irritating? It's the fact that we can't take space. Okay, let's go into agents that can take that space. At a risk, at a pretty big risk at times. But if you believe that you can win those individual fights, which I think if you look at Udaton, the way he played that round, he definitely believes he can. This now becomes a bit of a counter to what they're throwing out, and maybe that's enough for Havoya to go, okay, we need to change something now, otherwise if this happens 3 or 4 more rounds, we're already in a bad spot.
Yeah, I agree with you entirely. Seeing that pause out early is unusual. You won't see it a lot. Usually it means the game plan from top to bottom is not working and something drastic needs to change. For XLG, adjustments made, hopefully, but this will not be the round that, well, at least the majority of the time that we see the reward found for any of their labor. G have full rifles. They have ults to fall back on. Even if you can get one of those out of them, it could be a win. The Seekers, perhaps, the most likely, or the Showstopper, but this should be an easy follow-up
कल ना
from
मैं
GE and an opportunity to take the lead.
कैमरा
They're up
सेटिंग करके
against
आऊंगी
a couple
पूरा
of pistols. No shields across the board, making this weapon in Autumn's hand very, very dangerous indeed. But I like what XLG are doing, just sitting back and setting traps, waiting for GE to step into them.
Okay, well, Seekers are going to go out. That makes all of those positions nowhere near as valuable. This is the thing, you might look at that and go, hey, they got an ult out of them, but when they have as many as they do, you almost want to cycle them a little bit. Having all 5 online is almost a waste at times, and if it makes a round
Link
like this
देखने
cleaner, helps you
Batman,
build
हाँ.
those credits up, that holds a lot more value
Main देख
for
लो
the side
एक
of global esports than just having all of those ults for the next round.
Yeah, as much as you'd love to have Seekers to go into a site with the Showstopper, you also have the Skydog. Should help out.
Nice.
Just to find that information to point the rocket in the right direction. Lysort.
नहीं आउट ला लो के मत जा मत जा
If they didn't already hear the bookie firing earlier, they certainly know what they're up against now, seeing that smoke bloom.
डोटन कहाँ देख रहा है
Lysort, we can see his chances of getting any kills are fairly low. Going down to the spike is his play, and well, even if he goes towards spawn, he'll die to
जैसे
Unicon, who
कि
does have the Showstopper already. So giving him an orb is not the end of the world. A little bit of cash and a third round for GE.
Well, that's kind of the funny thing is, like, I was looking at Autumn, like, it almost tempted to go into that smoke. It's like, no, you have ult. Everybody other than Patman has ult, who needs 1 orb. There really isn't any value in you fighting this anymore. Let him keep the Bucky if he wants to. And while in the end, Udotun's position is enough. Lead taken by GE. But this really is looking like a swing round. 4 ultimates.
सेटिंग हाँ सेटिंग बोला ना मैंने
sides, but 4 already on the XLG side. Buy back up after the pause, which is
अभी
where we saw the
ये
turnaround in the
ये
first
दिख रहा
half
है
of the
ना
last map. And I wonder if they're going to
rectangle
maybe
में
play a slightly more passive game, force
इसको
their opponents
एडजस्ट
to
कर्व
execute,
कर
but
दूंगी
that's not quite as worrying when you have
और
these ults
स्क्वायर
online.
में भी डाल देंगे अपन
You're looking at No Man.
स्क्वायर में नहीं मोर
Get
लाइक
in there and just
वर्टिकल
steal
में
one of the other players. GE have already made
Rectangular
noise on
shape
this side,
में
and you can see XLG are ready to pounce.
जैसे बैठे
No Man
वैसे
standing
वैसे
by, thinking about the annihilation, but all the while, GE are scaling up now towards this A site. Less heavily defended. This is where the res is as well, so getting these picks early is going to make it much harder for XLG to ramp back into things. But the problem is that while they're creeping up here, it seemed for a moment like XLG had a perfect read. They haven't sent No Man this way, at least, but Leo is still standing by. 3 players on the A site. The fake on C better be good.
Oh, here goes that Showstopper, blinded up initially, but it hasn't slowed him down. He might not get it with the Showstopper, but he has found it elsewhere. Raga's done well. Res, of course, available, but getting in for it is not going to be possible. And just to make sure that space is confirmed, we are going to see utilization. And actually, just an aggressive peek out from Crystal. 1 player caught.
You will not kill my
Res used. And that puts the favor back
Nee.
for the defenders. Oh, the stun actually caught him. That was enough for a trade out. And now No Man brings it back into a 1 versus 1. But I don't know if he's ever seen Autumn in this corner. He almost walked past him just moments ago. The spike not planted for him, and that's why he doesn't check that way. It is a back and forth of sorts. A res used. And so
Hello
much more.
Hansraj, what's up?
But
Welcome
it's
to
GE still
stream.
to come out on top.
Yeah, that's a really big blow to XLG. GE now sitting with a ton of
so
credits.
bold.
Outside of that, they've got the Blade Storm on Autumn, who I think is going to come in here with an Outlaw, and XLG put all their credits into that last one. They put ultimates into that last one. And even No Man showing up in a big way was not enough. XLG trailing by 2. The pause changed nothing. And GE have a chance to extend this even further. In fact, great net from No Man. I mean, they really didn't see that one coming. But for GE, this is their opportunity to push up to 5. And if it's clean, to build up an even bigger buffer of credits. XLG, it's sad, but in this round, they almost need to do damage.
Yeah, but then the other side of the coin is some of those ults that were expended in the last round can start to build back up. So either way, GE have got to be very happy. 4 rounds already versus what is normally an incredibly tough comp to play
Double
into on the
trips लगा
defensive
भाई.
side. And you can't help but feel that that missed shot on the stunned up player made all the difference in the last round. Harvey somehow able to save himself.
इसका उठला only क्यों चल रहा है?
A bit cagey from GE. They know how important this is. Of course, a team that the talking point was that they never make playoffs. And that's regionally. We're talking about in Pacific. Now, they are a map away from making it elsewhere. And while thankfully Autumn was well aware of the potential of a close position.
The updraft in a small room does sometimes make it hard to hit. You flick up a little bit too high.
मैं वैसे बढ़ा
I'm
सकती
not
हूँ
even sure
like.
that's needed, Patman. I mean, he loved going for the TP plays last map. This time you're up against an eco in a 5v3, and he's like, I'm going to go for the flank play, boys. Fair enough. He's got himself 2 kills for his trouble. Hopefully we don't see that backfire a little bit later on. The GE seem to be feeling confident, and the flawless round will certainly help.
Yeah, 5 rounds
मैं
already.
इंसान बन के आ गई.
Normally you'd be looking at that and going, that doesn't feel like a death sentence, but 5 in a row versus a triple
Where will
Senti
the spike
defensive
be
side comp.
planted this round? A, B, C, D.
A lot of the time, if they get to start on this side, you don't really need the other side. They have shown stuff on the attack as well, but this is starting to feel a little bit detrimental. And that early pause kind of sold it that they wanted to stem the bleeding. It feels like, Mitch, this has to be the time that they stop it.
Yeah, this has to be where they restore order to this defensive side. An operator in play for Rarga. And so far, you even think back to the last full buy they had, they looked so good on the retake on A. So many pickups, no man was on a tear. And it wasn't enough. GE get Patman into position, pushed up on A. He's looking to catch the rotations, and the rest of the team is looking to bait them. Seekers go out. Finding some info to work with, but this is all a ruse, and now it's time to go for Patman, but he's been spotted. The Prowler sees him. Now the element of surprise dissipates, and you won't get a free sight anymore. No, they are calling for rotations back. The op is coming into play. The paranoia didn't land either, but Patman shifts focus towards the B site. That net is good. It's caught Uditan, but now he's got backup. They're playing the high-low. It's across the map for GE. They're fighting everywhere. It's going to be confusing for XLG as to where the hit's coming in, but it doesn't matter. They're finding all of the picks.
के चक्कर में fight हार गए.
I think he was the most likely to be isolated in that fight, but getting 2 picks from it. Still a sensor here, but all that's really going to do is give the game away.
आई रहेगी sound.
Committed a little bit further.
Drop the spike, you win.
10 seconds left.
That's exactly what he's going to do. 8 seconds left. Patman, all he can really do is make this costly. A nice quick double, and wow, there's Leo at the end to close out the round. XLG will find themselves a third.
Patman को रहना ही नहीं था इधर.
And now we expect to see them build into this half a little.
CT
Obviously, Leo's there in the end
अल्ट
to
करता
close
तो
the
शायद
round,
निकल जाता.
but it's also before even the first shot is landed that he really earns his money in this one. The fact that he puts that Prowler out to check if someone's outside A reveals Patman, who otherwise would have had an easy lurk. Those players were starting to rotate. Rarga was running away from the A site. He would have had a 1v1 on a player that had no idea he was there, but Leo was curious, and the Prowler got them the early read on the play. Validated their concerns, and now a 3-5 scoreline. It's not pretty, but plenty of rounds left in this half to still shape up as a good one for the defense. Rarga's on the angle, and he will find that with ease. Even the wall to slow them down on the tree play.
दो duelist इनके सैंडल नहीं खेल रहे. क्या बात है?
There has been a TP across already, but and the slows put into play. He knows exactly how to play around his utility, and even has support. Although Noman does have to be a little bit careful. I definitely don't think he knows that Patman's already ahead of it. A chance maybe to just wrap around and find that kill, but there's the first. The second player behind the wall at least. Even still, that man advantage kept, and there's re-aggression coming out from Leo as well. Patman is just trying to do everything. Spots the player. Knows that he's there, but his teammates are all falling like flies. We're watching a man play a masterful game of Ring Around a Rosie, but unfortunately his teammates aren't alive to help him out. Still an advantage here for XLG.
कोई drop नहीं जाएगा.
They'll at least get the plans. 2v3, someone needs to step out of the way, and with the Nightfall going in, it's going to be a difficult round. Shot landed on the Raga, but he's still alive up top. Not for long. Happy does well. The drop down not heard, though. Here's a big swing from Happy Way, and he'll get there in the end.
नहीं यार, momentum तोड़ो इनका.
And now we're starting to see this defensive side take shape.
It's very interesting because you go back and look at their games regionally. You'd think that maybe the 13-0 was 12 rounds on the defense. It was 12 rounds on the attack. But it's when they brought it here versus NRG where they struggled more on the attack side. So it's obviously imperative that they still throw in that solid half. But for GE, clearly feeling like the attack, especially when you look at the composition they're running with the double duelist, Coinbase win condition feels like more of an attack-sided half needed. Even still, though, in the lead. And it did make me worry a little bit with how much Patman was able to get away with in the last round. But a man that has definitely had some crazy individual performances. I think even regionally, not being one of their major highlights over on the side of GE is Yudotan. When it comes to this event, he's been fantastic. In fact, especially I think back to the game of Fracture, where it was him, I believe, versus Sato, and it was that 1v1 operator fight that was going back and forward. We've seen a round like that in this map, where he found 3 on the entry, but we haven't seen that same superstar just yet.
Well, Raga on XLG picking up that operator. Found a lot of success in the previous round. Opening on A, slowed the play massively, got the rotates in. Was even traded out in the end. For XLG, they're now 1 round behind. Picking up some momentum. With a few rounds left to go, the lead could still be theirs at halftime. G's attack. Trying to avoid Raga on A. They've walked into him on B, but this time they live to tell the tale.
But yeah, in fact, he was the one that took the majority of the damage.
23 to 26.
Immediate ult usage, not really a chance of response. The nade almost finishing off Noman, but that will be Harvey. And he had the spike. Oh, that's really rough. That is a special delivery all the way to the C site. What do you even do?
They haven't realized. They haven't noticed just yet that the TP can be taken. Patman doesn't have ult online, and no one's hit tab to realize. Now they know. With the ult taken, that spike is not going to be there for long. It's stolen back, and GE walk into the A site wide open. For XLG, it's not a bad idea. Sure, they're going to concede a plant, and life source very low. But the main thing is to avoid losing players in these early skirmishes.
इतना accurate prediction में नाम कैसे डालते हैं ये लोग?
They've avoided any early flare from GE.
Yeah, but look at the ults. Showstopper for Yudotan could be a real spanner in the works. They'd love to have that Annihilation back online now. And he's just buying time. He's just holding it. He wants to try and deny them. It's a nice shot from Raga. A man who was tagged earlier on, but he's still able to survive. The knife's also not getting anything just yet, but there we go. Already a pickup. Crystal also on the other side.
Dal de spray.
Utilized. The up top position of Patman gets nothing, and now all that remains is Crystal versus the whole team.
Time nahi hai itna.
Once again. Does he have enough time for the defuse or the rest of the
team?
It seemed like they have it, but just a little bit too slow. The spike will act as a Red Bull clutch.
I need to turn my volume up, and hell, maybe they do as well. That's ridiculous. 0.5 as well, much bigger gap than I thought. And they clearly didn't know either, committing to that defuse, hoping that it won't be close enough, but the realization kicked in before the spike had exploded. GE doing just enough. Less than a second in it.
थोड़ा hold और भी कर लेता है, kill भी मिल जाता है इसको.
Funny thing
guaranteed neck and neck at the half.
It's the showstopper. Yeah, that was it. Just that he held it just for a little bit of time. Sometimes you'll look at that and go like, oh, maybe that's a Rosa ult, but not in this case.
I'll apologize to Yudotan for saying he popped it a bit early.
I knew it, bhai. I knew it. Sound से I knew it कि भाई time नहीं है.
Looks like XLG putting a lot of stock towards this C hit. They've got the right read, but they don't know just how right they are. Dog going through will keep them in position. Happy Way Has very passive utility there, playing to punish GE when they take space. And I meant more so towards the C side after the plans, but
okay.
Well, in both cases, very nice early fights.
Oh!
As well.
Spike down, C.
That's where the Guardian really holds its value. A nice trade back from Crystal, though, and he does have his ultimate online. Again, timing it correctly could remove weaponry.
अरे यार इसके हाथ से कोई ऑफ गिराओ.
And not in the way he'd hope. Autumn in a 1v3. He could reposition through the B site. There's still a lot.
30 seconds left.
The wall now breaks, and Braga already watching on that angle as well. Even making it on this cross is not going to be easy unless he can hit the shot immediately onto Leo, and he cannot. Braga already back in position once again, but is he just going to run through? Can he make it through before his opponent stops him? Door needs to be broken. 10 seconds, and he's even hit. I think that might have been.
Good night, Pavan
Yeah,
G.
it was.
Good night.
He's left him down to 54. That's going to make this a damn sight easier to slow the paranoia even more so. And yeah, you're dead to rights. Really nice stuff from XLG now. We are seeing, again, what looked like domination to start this out after the second round. XLG slow down. G start to run away with it convincingly so in some of the rounds. It might have been slow to get on the board, but there's no denying from now. 1 round left in the half. And XLG can still make this an even one.
Yeah, it is starting to feel like Haven once again, where G come out of the block strong.
It's Rarga's up, man. It's just made such a difference. It feels like every round he's either getting the information, but not being punished if he misses the shot. Or, in the vast majority, he's got them a man advantage. And then some. And you can't push him after because he's using his util to slow.
Yeah, it's the slow, the wall, whatever he can put into play. Last round of the half. And it's not the prettiest from GE either. Stingers for the most part. Of course, they can still take the weaponry away with that steel garden. And the ultimate's not built up on the other side. Leo is trying to get himself a little bit closer, but unless he is getting a multi-frag, likelihood is that Nightfall will not be used.
Minute on the clock. And GE are very happy to sit and wait. 28 shots. Yeah, we go to the Classic eventually. Honestly, I think it would have broken just off of time with not that much of a difference. But we got 1 mag left for Udaton.
He's baiting them in. He's baiting them in. And, you know, he has kept 2 players. Seeker's about to be used. See, they're trying to put Lysor in and now looking to remove the weaponry, but obviously it does take a second or two. Lysor's just going to have to run out of there, and I like the Thorns. The Thorns forced him to take a lot of damage on the way out.
Yeah, shield stripped, but he's going to go and at least get that heal back from Rarga. Again, we've seen this net before. This time Udaton very close. He will be caught, but not before he gets one. Not a bad trade for the weaker weapons in this round. Still 2 rifles to work with. Patman gets tagged, doesn't even get the heal there. Steps into the smoke a little too early, and Rarga shuts him down as well with the recovered rifle. A look for the fight on Javi. He's not seen the angle, but now he has. And slipping himself away to hopefully have that cover from Crystal, but the smoke up has blocked him out. He's got to be quick. They could be defusing for all he knows, but they've given the game away now. Still, no angle on the diffuser, and finally he will strike. The patience from Crystal, a flash still to work with, sees them defusing. He's got to swing in, and he will. Reading it just in time for the Red Bull clutch.
Ah, what a round coming out from Crystal. His teammates bought him the time for a mass wraparound all the way through on that flank. And just impressive stuff individually to not outrun at the end when you know that they could have been defusing, utilize that flash as well. That is just an intelligent player in the clutch.
A 2-round lead for GE, who are already up a map. This is definitely looking like XLG are in trouble, but I think they found enough towards the end that the second half isn't exactly terrifying. For GE fans, though, this is exactly the kind of performance that they wanted to see. And certainly, someone in the crowd is looking very happy today. Let's go over to an interview with Javi's mom.
This is Mary Vick. She's Javi's mum, but also the captain, I think, of the Global Esports Fan Club here in London. The funny thing is, Mary Vick, when your son said he wanted to be a pro gamer, at first you were not convinced.
No, not at all. Not at all. He was always in internet cafes playing. And so his friend said, you have to watch him play. He's really good. And when I watched him play, I'm like, oh my God, he is a professional player.
And now you get to see him play for the first time in person in London. What's this been like for you?
It took 5 years for him to get here. And we all struggled. We all had sacrifices, but we supported him all the way.
So once you knew he could do this, you never stopped believing?
You betcha, yeah. Even his family, his siblings, his father, everyone, yeah.
And now it feels like your family has expanded, Mary Vic.
Woohoo! GE fighting all the way.
I wanted to ask you one quick question. Yesterday in the press conference, you asked the guys about their individual superpowers. What's the team superpower of global esports?
Oh my, I think a lot of it has to do with mentality, big time. Strong mentality. But you know, it's really the passion. If you don't have the passion, you're out, yeah.
And are people here feeling passionate about global esports? And I'm not surprised with Mary Vic on their side. Let's get into the second half.
Well, GE certainly fighting in
Hatta,
this series,
arey.
pulling no punches and leading 7-5. A chance to make it all the way to playoffs, and all they have to do is take down XLG in one more half.
Soda.
We've mentioned it throughout. A team that has talked about being scrim partners, relationships throughout, with Crystal being an ex-XLG member, XLG being the team that sent out Yudotan and No Man when they played on prior rosters as well. Even Autumn and Lysor have a connection with FPX, but only one of them can go marching on, as they eliminated 2 other teams from their respective leagues. Only one of them makes it into the playoffs, and for GE, they are going to hope to try and do it in 2. But for XLG, regionally, that attack side was strong. But I do think they're going to want to get a pistol.
No Man's got to be careful. He's got the spike right now, and the flank coming in. It looks like the timing could be good to catch him. He's rounded the corner just in time. Instead, it's Leo. He's really thrown to the wolves there. XLG lose themselves their fade. But they'll get the A site for this. Oh, maybe they won't. The wall's blocked out the spike. Again, No Man is isolated, is trapped, and he'll make it back to his buddies.
Yeah, there's been a few moments already that could have made this round incredibly spicy. Instead, it's Leo sacrificed a post plant, which is normally where this composition becomes so tough to break through. The wall already in position, and a flank already spotted. It may be a man advantage, but there aren't a massive amount of advantages for GE here.
ये बहुत congested fight होने वाली है.
Flip-flopped in the other direction. He's got 3! Lysor tucked in the corner. And a lot more than he bargained for coming his way. What a round from Uniton. That's going to get GE up to 8.
That's just nightmare fuel for XLG. You want that boost into the half, and a guy runs around the corner. Multiple people trying to face him off tap, and he just absolutely destroys them. Quick enough to correct, but also a little bit
Good night.
disjointed from the other side, not quite able to find those trades. Gives GE that little bit of a boost, and as I said, that is the last thing XLG wanted on their map choice, a map that regionally has been flawless over the last few months. There would be back-to-back defeats on it if they're unable to make a recovery. But fact is, recovery is not expected in this round.
They had the net land to start this out, but no one followed up, and the Crystal now surrounded, finds himself in a bit more trouble. Or Patman, excuse me. Crystal from further back, firing in those shots and making it out and buying a little bit of time. But XLG aren't looking to change the direction, at least from what we're seeing. A Skydog might change their mind. They know now rotates have happened. They know the C site's a little better defended. But you're either going to rotate into space that you've given up, or you're going to pump the brakes and just hope that GE start second-guessing themselves.
They're going to try and just walk it. Flash is going to let them know, but No Man's managed to win the fight. Crystal here, but the jump across is fantastic. They're playing this one well as a team, but they still have to deal with
Mar the net.
back-to-back triples at a minimum. And he's now waiting for his teammate to come in
Abhi?
behind. Hathaway still with a rifle. Expecting
Okay, auto मारा है फिर ठीक है
something. I like the angle he's taking, but unfortunately left a little bit open. Another Yudotan round, a showstopper online. But the fact is that was still a little bit too close.
Yeah, the panic version of me was thinking, well, we have the showstopper. Maybe you just throw it in to win the
उसके
round.
सामने केज
But I
पे
think that was
उसका
the
ध्यान नहीं
backup
गया
plan here. Let Autumn go. Let him find the pick. If he dies, then maybe we throw that showstopper in. But it wasn't needed. GE find themselves in 9th. It looks on the timeline like an easy one, but certainly anything but with the way that panned out.
Okay,
XLG now come in with a full buy themselves. Losing this, the chances of making playoffs, they take a plummet real quick.
Rifle handed over to Harvey. Yudotan is just going to be playing with the showstopper this round, waiting for someone to make contact, and if the stars align, they'll be put into play. It really is, as bonuses go, a weak one. More pistols than purchase weaponry, and for XLG, this is feeling like the moment to build back into this game. They've even got heavy shields on every single player. They know what they're up against. There goes the showstopper. There goes a freebie, and a weapon that can be picked up by Yudotan.
A really big kill as well. Not only for the weapon, but for that utility removed. XLG now, flank is open. They've got to go. And the decision is towards the C site. Wall gone in. They can make it onto Crystal site a little bit quicker than he's expecting.
Ooh.
Nice shot, but the wall got in the way. XLG keep things even. With a plant coming through, you've got to be wary of the spams, but that's not a
30 seconds
that's
left.
not a commonly spammed angle.
Planted.
Leo almost got a haircut.
This is still where things get so much tougher for GE. The post plant versus what is now a double senti. Still incredibly difficult. Yudotan is taking that initial space, but it's Raga to find the kill. No man with another. And in fact, he doesn't even realize he gets the third. A double tap through the smoke. And what started out a little bit
नीचे बैठ
shaky from the
भाई।
showstopper is 4 players staying alive for XLG. That is a good way to break back.
Guys, could definitely be a revival for XLG if they can have a bit of a streak early on. That round is one they're expected to win, but that's what makes me feel a little bit better about XLG's chances. The vibe check over that side of the stage looking good. All smiles, all standing. Autumn might be about to wipe that smile off their face. He's inside the smoke with the off. He's making it out. At least it seemed like he would.
Crystal died first.
Crystal gets shot in his place, and Autumn follows him to the spectator screen. That's one hell of a start for XLG, and yeah, I think you kind of have to save.
This is the problem. Like, you're running that double duelist. You're up against, as said, a composition that in the post plant is almost impossible. Just look at the utility on the map right now. There's a wall holding onto the cross. They've already put a sensor in the spawn, a second wall to block off with the barrier. There's no way back into the site as it is. So what you're going to see from GE is these aggressive starts. Like, we want to deny them having all of those players in the post plant. We want to deny them getting into the post plant in the first place. The problem is you get wrecked like that and you have no choice. There is no way that they're getting back in.
It does just look like a rare mistake from Crystal to step in. Gets unlucky that he spammed down, but of course it's an angle they're spamming when Autumn had been caught out the way that he did. Autumn overstaying his welcome in the smoke. Crystal going down ahead of his utility. What else can you do but save? I can tell you what else. You can throw your weapons away. You have 2 choices. One of them much better than the other. A great net at the end.
just full trolling. He's having a good time.
Oh, why not?
Captain 3K got it in the last round, but now we look again to see if there's any sort of response. Of course, the problem for GE is that you get into that first proper buy round, you get slaughtered off rip. And in fact, that's a moment to take a pause. This is now both coaches in both halves that after losing 2 rounds has taken a timeout.
It is a very unusual look. And I do wonder if, you know, in this matchup in particular, being scrim buddies, you have a lot more learnings to draw from. You you have a lot more tendencies to predict, to lean on.
They're talking to each other.
And I'll tell you what, Frost has got a lot to say. He is rattling it off. I think I'd get afraid every time I see our teams call the timeout. Just lift the headset slightly, lower 10%.
It's like, oh, what did I do wrong?
It's actually crazy that we could hear him from here.
Yeah.
In the venue. That's
to be
never
fair,
happened
that wasn't him talking to them. That was just him talking
That was
out
him
loud.
talking in general. Yes, he wasn't losing his mind in a timeout. That was just his commentary of the game. But a 2-round gap between these two. For Global Esports, as you said, 3 players surviving, great. You at least have those 3 rifles. But alongside them, there won't be a lot. Autumn would love to have a Blade Storm here, but 3 away, that's not really a feasible goal.
Don't have
So for G, even with those
ये
rifles,
जैसे
this
तैसे
will be a
निकाल
weak
लिया
round,
तो
but
वही हो
let's see
गया.
what they talked about in that timeout.
Seems like they're going to at least try and challenge, but a little bit of early control. Harvey with an off angle. One that should be expected. That cam, I don't believe, has given things away already. The utilization of the Annihilation. That's Crystal's gone, and well, Harvey tries to react. Yudatan has been a man of many moments. This would have to be one of the best of them. The full squad running down on him, and he had no support. Well, they left Patman as the sole defender
Spike planted.
of the other side of the map, and he is only just making it over here.
Last player standing.
Fuck, नहीं.
Yeah, some credit's not in the best of positions. With Autumn being the last alive, maybe picking that rifle. Getting out could be the right play. Getting some damage in on top of it. For now, at least, he's just sat down in the spawn waiting, expecting someone to come pushing.
With the problem as well is a lot of what you can see with this XLG comp, and it's what I have seen when other teams have tried to run it, is a lot of the time you can need an ult to get you that entry. Like I think we witnessed it in this round. The Annihilation takes a player away, pulls someone in, and it gives you an opener, and you can then react off that. And you see people try and react to that ultimate. So to be honest, the worst thing that Autumn can do is run in and give them an ultimate orb. You don't want them to have a Nightfall. You don't want them to have a res, because then you can sacrifice someone and then they come right back again. So it's kind of an awkward spot where, yeah, the best thing I can do is die to the spike.
Raga's definitely having a much better time as well in terms of impact. Even here, all that utility, you had the Sky Flash, you had the nade go through on A main, he just walked past it. And him walking past it meant they were much quicker to actually fill in the space, because he was telling them, yeah, they naded, yeah, they flashed, but no one stepped forward. And if no one stepped forward, they're either playing passive or they've rotated and left this as a light side of the map. Early chance here for Autumn. Operator will be bought up. Odin in play for Crystal, playing towards the doors on A.
Oh.
But XLG
I just realized
shifted their focus to this C
ये
side.
लोग बिना dualistic खेल रहे हैं.
Operator who's not got a very favorable angle with that smoke in the way, and the shot won't land for him either. But even just hearing that op seems to have made XLG reconsider.
Oh yeah, if you were going to run anything that you might have seen NRG do, I think it might be an Operator and an Odin. I think they might have been inspired in that case. The only problem is they would also then need, I think, Patman to drop like 34 kills like Kiko did to get them through the map.
He saw them there. They don't think he saw them, but that paranoia and nade is perfect. Unitone with a little jump peek, and XLG just didn't react as a result.
Look at the damage.
Happyway's almost dead, and they've lost a player.
Did Roger just heal himself?
I think so, Tom.
Because he's used the heal, and Happyway is top health. Maybe just a reactionary decision, but
sorry, Misplay.
Seemingly the wrong one.
30 seconds left.
Spam. Well, they've got to be so careful, but oh, maybe Raga was the right person. Now he has that res online. The swing through, a little bit risky from Udoton. And now they get that res in play.
Spam!
It's going to leave. Lights are a bit healthier, and caught out is Patman. It was starting so well for the side of GE. But now they are a man down again.
Happyway still on 12 HP, and now the Odin's starting to ring out, but he's backed out of the site. Those wall bangs won't even get close to him. And with an op on the other player, and the wall being triggered.
That's such good bait.
They're just going to go for the save. They're sensing too much danger here, and XLG grab themselves a 9th round as a result.
It's just immediately Crystal starts looking towards the A side going, oh, he's flanking us. They're still checking for all of these positions just because Leo just walked out and baited the wall. That's just a clever little piece. Maybe he was actually going to flank them until then, but what a recovery from XLG. That round started with an unbelievable amount of damage done off the back of the nade, and then from then onwards, GE just crumbled. Like it was again just players trying to be a hero in these moments. Like a swing out of a smoke, then moments later, another swing out of a smoke. They are being caught out in isolated fights, and that's exactly what XLG want.
It was looking like we were getting towards the home stretch for global esports, like a 2-0 was on the horizon and growing closer by the second. But now, the shoe's on the other foot. Things have slowed down, and a 4-round streak has put XLG right back into this game. Right back into this series and right back into contention for playoffs. It's GE with a weak 5. Still the AWP, still the Odin. But the rest are with pistols, and they're isolated. Unitime stands no chance.
He was kind of meant to be the second layer to the operator. Unfortunately, he ended up being left alone. Immediate call to try and go back in the other direction, but Raga is still here. Plant seems guaranteed, and once again, once all of that utility goes down, that's at least a nice spam. Crystal, one of the few weapons, but are they now just going to opt to go back in the other direction again?
Oh, looks like Plant down below is going to come through. Crystal trying to contain them, but won't find anything from that spot. No paranoia to work with to break back in. Patman has a gap in the wall, but they should know by now. He can possibly walk through, and now they most certainly do. Getting anything here should be tough. Patman's the only one that's risking his life. The rest of the squad is saving those weapons yet again. Not worth throwing at a round like this. And maybe if they found one more pick, maybe if something else had gone their way, they'd try. But instead, well, the question is, will they be allowed to save them? XLG are hunting them, at least in the case of Varga, but he will meet his demise.
They've got so many credits that it really does become irrelevant. And as said, with their ults being so impactful, think about the res in the prior round. I don't think he's going to care if he goes down, as long as he's getting those ultimate orbs. I also think this brings back an interesting conversation at the beginning of the veto, because obviously I'm not going to pretend to know these teams better than they know each other. They're scrim partners. They probably know each other better than anyone else. When I was trying to predict the veto, I thought the G would ban this map and risk playing Fracture. There was something about the Fracture of XLG that maybe they didn't want to play, or they thought they had a counter on this map. And from what we're seeing so far in this attack side, I'm starting to question if that's true.
10 rounds and a lead for XLG. A showstopper online for GE, an investment. Full credits and an operator that's been saved for so many rounds, and now it has the early round impact. Now it lands that blow to XLG to put them a man behind. Their response is to scale up into C, and they will find this very free.
Yeah, they bait the wall. Crystal realizes that, I can opt to try and fight this alone, but once the utility comes in, it's going to be incredibly difficult. That's a little bit risky, though. Leo was trying to bait them in, and he succeeded. Obviously, they're not planting towards the waterfall because of the spams coming through on the other side, and even still, they just can't find a safe space. That will be the moment, though. No man with a decent shot. Showstopper now coming through, but it's Raga again! You said he's been having a standout game, but this really is a step up, an immediate headshot. Still, these fights becoming more and more awkward. A 2v2 down to just one, but Lysor holds the line! 2 kills for him, 2 rounds ahead, and XLG hightailing it towards Breeze.
Oh, that is a backbreaker round. G had it all. They had the opening picks, they had the ults, they had the tags, they denied the plant, and they threw it all away. Over eager, spamming with an Odin, 80 bullets through a smoke, and you don't think they'll shoot back? Jumping in with the showstopper when nobody else is ready to go. This is a team that lost their way. And now we might go all the way to Breeze as a result for XLG. They find themselves again against weaknesses. GE have invested somewhat, 3 rifles. But that showstopper out of the equation, the Blade Storm no longer around. This makes life so much easier for the attack side.
Oh, I like the aggressive push-up, though. The set strategies have not been working. Let's resort to just trying to punch them in the throat. A walk up, and they got past Yudotan. It's only the one, though. It looked like there was an opportunity for more than that. Even still, man advantage held. Harvey not really with the weaponry to do too much here, and with the TP to the back of the site. A post-plant will ensue, but 2 of those Sentinels are gone. It's only going to be No Man's util this time.
Oh, Leo can run through on that dog, but he decides to go back, wary of more players. Wise move. Goes the C's a little further than expected, perhaps GE. Now have their ult to go through. Weapons are going to be removed from the hands of XLG, and the push is about to come through. No Man gets caught off. Leo ends up killing him with his own flash. Heavy.
Stick.
It's given a chance now. Rifle back online for XLG, and they'll find a flurry of frags. 12 rounds for XLG. And GE have got to be kicking themselves. They have thrown what could have been a lead, what could have been a competitive map, maybe even a favored one, and they have thrown it to the wind.
This is looking like the ultimate capitulation for global esports. 7 rounds in a row. Each one that goes by feels more and more like the one that will finally break the streak. That one definitely the peak of it, but again, back-to-back rounds where Lysor steps up. And now just one needed to take us to a third map. GE might look back at this and be kicking themselves. They could have had this. Instead, they walk into the blender. 3 players gone. A 2v5 needed. And while this round is looking like a breeze.
For GE, as you said, a third map now on the horizon. It seems almost impossible for them to fight their way back into this one. It'll be devastating knowing. No, they're going to be slowed down even more by that util potentially. Oh, no, they made it past. But knowing that this could have been, if not a closed game, a much closer one, and instead, look at what they're running into. Crystal, okay, that's a double and a chance to break his teammate out. It's not quite over just yet, but now it very much seems like it is. The time too far gone, the slow on the spike, and more than enough bodies to throw at this situation. It is 13-9. A resounding answer from XLG to Haven. Global esports will not find this 2-0. In fact, playoffs still up for grabs after the break.
भाई दोनों एक साथ क्यों चेंज हो रहे हैं? बट मैं येलो दिख रही हूँ। जो भी सही है।
Fancy.
सारे पॉइंट्स
Welcome back to Masters London. XLG absolutely refused to be defeated on map 2, and now we're gonna go the full distance onto Breeze, and we didn't see this coming. This was a complete turnaround halfway through Lotus.
Yeah, early on, XLG were doing a lot of rubble fights, and it wasn't working for them at all. The strength of their composition on the defense is to just play passive, play back, and let the other team figure them out. And then on the attack side, that is usually where the comp, ironically, gets its value because of those post plants, and that's what happened today.
Yes, that is what happened just now. Now let's check our Ryzen high-speed moment. There's this beautiful clutch by Crystal. Again, he has been absolutely on fire throughout this, this tournament so far. And let's enjoy a bit of this 1v2 clutch.
It was really nice. I think it was just the fact that we kind of spoke about familiarity, Crystal being the one that's playing with teammates, against teammates and all this stuff. And I think that he handled this clutch like a pro, especially when you consider the high pressure moment of being able to lead at the half by winning out that clutch main.
Yeah, I think 7-5, they would have been okay with that. I think that obviously going into the other side, XLG's comp does do a little bit better on the attack side, but to be steamrolled like they did is surprising to me.
It is, and there was a point, though, where it's almost like Rarga finds his confidence again when he remembers who he's playing, like when he was playing against DRG yesterday, and then I think here he's kind of like, wait, I got this, I know GE really well.
I think for me, the main thing was we're speaking about how annoying all of that Sentinel utility is on the defense, but not only that, you have a Rarga on an operator with really only the Sky to be able to clear out him from those kind of positions. And we never really saw him taking a deep line, as we mentioned. It was always very passive, quite back, and then he could just chuck his slows whenever he felt any sort of pressure coming towards his site. So he could reposition himself with the operator, which was really nice to watch and find that confidence once again.
Yeah, the Sage OpTech is old school 2021 vibes. We've seen Ed doing it quite a lot back then. And another thing for XLG, we're talking about those post plants. They didn't get into too many of them because they're winning rounds quite early, but when they did, it fired off here. You can see the Sentinel utility coming in, the Sage wall, Deadlock net that catches a few people there. And then even here on B, there's trips in deep, there's walls in deep. It's a nightmare to have to retake against. And that's why I saw G trying to do some of those fights early, but it just didn't go their way. XLG were just steamrolling.
Remember what I told you about XLG having a real great understanding of the verticality of this map, using those deadlock sensors where they know GE are going to be trying to break out of and get onto that site. I think having this triple sentinel composition, like you said, Minnie, when you get into those post plants, your attack just looks easy. It looks completely flawless at that point.
And let's talk about the other side of GE and their comp there. They were using XLG's comp last time, using Paper X's comp this time. But I think one might argue GE was used to use the C word, choking, but I don't think it was quite that.
No, I think on defense that comp is extremely hard to play. There's no bunkering that happens much. I think that the reason why teams like Paper X make it work is because they are literally Paper X. I think that not playing the Vice with the Viper on this map is criminal for most teams, and I wouldn't want to see that more deeper into the tournament.
Now we are going to be going to Breeze. We did see Global Esports play Breeze against Full Sense yesterday. Do you like their comp on this one? Is it mini approved?
It's mini approved. I quite like it. It's a little bit, I call it like wonky, so a little bit weird, the Sage and the Chamber together. But Autumn was really impressing me yesterday with that Chamber.
Yeah, I think so. I think as long as he can be that kind of key component of winning out those first engagements, if we do see that Chamber again, yes, we will. And I think the Sage as well has been proven to be such a great agent on this map. But on the other side, XLG going for that Phoenix in Jet. What do you make of this, Mini?
Well, I think it plays quite well for GE here. Having that Sage to slow down the double duelist. The double duelist comps often like to just go for the straight XX, and that is what GE wants. You're either going to be running into an operator or into a Sage slow. So I'm going to be interested to see what XLG are going to do to kind of win that chess match.
I think what's interesting for me is we're so used to this team playing that Whaley when we consider their duelists, but instead have going down a different route this time around.
Well, thank you guys. We are about to find out who the final playoffs qualified team is gonna be. Tom, Mitch, how you feeling?
Feeling like we might have a good game of Valorant on our hands. Breeze, look, it's been a back and forth affair on the first two maps, but it all comes down to this. Breeze will block off playoffs for one, send the other. Fight amongst the best in the world to face those teams that had the deeper seed, who've been watching and waiting for their moment to face off against squads like this. For GE and XLG, as we said, a hard-fought battle. Some factors coming online and offline. It's been up and down. This is what it all comes down to.
Compositional change. Sees the Phoenix come in instead of the Neon, but well, I was going to say the Jet as well, but never mind. That's already dissipated. A big part of their previous series was Autumn having a phenomenal game over on that Chamber. Yudotan being also a highlight, showing that Neon definitely can still. Bro, this position from Patman needs to go to one and he gets it. In fact, the third about to come around the corner. The shock dart will do a little bit of tickle damage, but Yudotan is immediately there to drop the spike. A bit of an odd position from Leo on that lurk with the Sova, and he's going to get nothing. It will be a pistol round. Back onto the board, and I'll be honest with you, Mitch, up that last map, I actually think it's fairly important that GE get on the board early.
Definitely. In general, I mean, unless I'm mistaken, thinking back to even their opening series, like this has been a factor throughout the entire tournament for them that they go missing sometimes. They're a team that wins massive streaks of rounds, and then whether they get a little too loose or a little too tight, it's hard to tell, but the game plan needs to be switched up sometimes. For GE, a 1-0 start, as you said, the pistol going their way. Patman with a big play up close. So you're going to see a lot of risks taken by him based on what we've seen from them so far on this stage. What they face off against now is just classics. Not even a single upgrade for XLG. The chances of even dropping a weapon on the other side looking very low. And add to that the fact that Patman, as we've seen, he's got to pick with the Sheriff. That is his primary weapon. So even one kill is not going to be enough to have any damage in for GE. But there's one kill.
Yeah, you know what? That went better than expected. There's only a pistol on the other side. Never mind. The fadeaway. With almost no-look headshot from Patman. Single player drop, but that rifle's been retrieved. And now GE can go in with a fairly strong purchase into this next round.
He's got a lot of opportunities as well. For the first full buy, you should probably have the Viper's Pit online because of this 3K and I think it was a 2K in the pistol as well. Indeed it was, so he's set up very nicely. to now have that pit on 3 away
पीके तो
from
दो
it
बार हो
in the
गया
early
वैसे तो
stages, although
दो
maybe you
नहीं
want to see it on
दो बार हुआ एक
normally
बार
a
हुआ
Jet with a Sage for the little bit of extra buffer. G are going to use 4 players on A early on. They're looking for a serious fight. And even after they see the first, they shouldn't expect it to be this stacked up. And there's the second aggression. Beautiful stuff from Crystal, who's walked out of there with 2. That's weapons on the ground to potentially be upgraded.
And on the other side of things, like maybe in a normal circumstance, Leo would look to try and hold on to that ground, but instead, him having the spike means he has to retreat. Early usage of the wall is what allowed them to gamble, but Harvey, after dropping down, went back up for a peek, and now because of that, they have lost all of that control.
मर गया
Steps heard by Lysor, but he's not landed the shots. Luckily, he doesn't pay for it with his life. Udaton
Spike planted.
could be behind them a little quicker than expected. They're certainly clearing it, at least they were,
easily
but Leo's now
get-
looking elsewhere as the wall breaks. He's just walking in to fill that space. They'll come back to clear it though. Has to hit his shot
एक
from
और
Udaton.
एक और
He
एक और
will.
एक और एक और
Another
एक
player
और
around
एक
that
और एक
corner
और एक
that
और
he
एक
doesn't know
और
about, but
एक
he's
और
looking the right way for Lysor, and it looks like he's got all the pieces of the puzzle. 3 players left alive for GE. It's a very successful follow-up.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, that seemed like better positioning and a read on the scenario than if someone had just used a Cypher roll. Like, he was just looking exactly where his opponents were standing in every single moment. Solid round from
इतनी
Udaton.
अच्छी है क्या
And
फेस
considering
कार्ड की बुलडॉग
that was, of course, a bonus round where a lot of it was Bulldogs. That is a huge round to take early on. Again, a hot streak for GE in the early rounds. And for the other side of things, well, I initially saw Lysor invest into a rifle, but it's not going to be as much of a gamble. Pistols and a stinger to come into this round.
Just with so many times we've seen GE, it feels like fall off a cliff face in terms of that momentum. You want to see them keep putting rounds at the board. I feel like XLG have a chance to fight back almost at any time, especially after what we saw on the last map. This round shouldn't be one. It's a lot of weaknesses for XLG, as you'd expect. Losing that 3rd round is a death sentence for your economy. They don't go for the grouped up full sight hits that we so often see. It looked like they're trying to check how GE are playing that early mid position, looking for aggression out of the double doors, and perhaps it was the second they heard that Sage wall up, they realized, yeah, they're not fighting for this space. We're gonna have to hit a sight hit. That means running into a lot of dangers.
Couple of missed shots, and well, not for No Man. Able to get one. Harvey on the backside, he's taken so much damage. They've traded incredibly well, and does Udaton risk it? Does he risk it? He does, but just gets out of there with one. Not an overface. Patman's got to be careful, the fallback. I believe that shot dart did a lot of damage. It did, an assist onto Leo. Even still, position of Happy Way is not going to be checked. And because of that, he now has a rifle from Patman. Puts it into a 2v2 that, if anything, is favored at this point.
And now it certainly is! Varga with both barrels as deadly as the last. It's 3-1 for XLG. You know, you talk about that ability to fight their way back, to get back into the game, how important it is for GE to streak those rounds. Well, you see it here. It's a MasterCard Thrifty that gives the first round to the attacking side. And again, think back to how GE lost the last map. I think having these interruptive rounds is only going to hit them harder because of how this series has gone.
I was a little bit surprised almost to see Raga going back over to that Phoenix. It's not been the greatest of agents, but if he starts hitting shots like that, starts getting closer towards that running back a little bit earlier, I think they're going to be very happy indeed. Udaton already about to challenge into a multitude of players. Autumn with the trade, and Martin now pinged up. They know exactly where Harvey is. A lot of what he needs to do is just try and avoid the angle of Raga for a second or two more, and that's exactly what he does. A swing back around, but then he's open to the wall. Isolation of those players going well for XLG, and in fact, Patman's been caught again, the last man standing. He's got a weapon you like, but a weapon he'd like to save even more.
Yeah, I definitely don't like his chances here. Great flash as well put through. The trade at a minimum for XLG. That's what they were looking for.
Time out.
China's #2 certainly not giving up on that playoff spot. And 1 round behind, facing into a very light fight from GE. they should be at least putting this equal early on. And the other thing I'll say is, early signs, Tom, seems like Happyway might have Patman's number. A lot of those rotations, that's 2 rounds in a row that he sat there waiting for him and catches a freebie.
Yeah, I think Patman's going to have to maybe start taking a slightly safer route. Those flanks has not been paying off, and I think something that almost needs to be talked about now is, in terms of regional strength, there's been a lot of talk about Pacific, their depth in teams. If GE lose this game, it will just be PaperX. It'll be the only one left, a good one to have left, and while XLG certainly looking to try and make that storyline become a reality already, down to just 2 players remaining. The Patman, I think, holding on to the gun holds so much more value, but Happyway again is going to be the one to catch him. He's trying to hold into middle. And now for Harvey, of course, in this case, only having a Guardian, the kill holds more value, and there you go. Ultimate online, he'll fall. They'll be able to buy into the next round.
We got to see a pause soon from GE. XLG are picking up too much momentum, and like I said, thinking about how the last one ended, I just counted it and I still can't remember. It was like 8 rounds in a row or something ridiculous from XLG. And in so many of those rounds, think about one of the last ones. 5 versus 3 for GE. One player runs in, dies. Second player runs in, dies with a showstopper. And all of a sudden, it's equal footing. It feels like at times, GE are a victim of their own snowball. They're being rolled over by an avalanche on XLG, and halting that momentum is being too difficult of a task so far. No timeout, they run right into this. XLG fighting for the lead, the team being taken by Lysor, and they had no idea! It's huge for Lysor, but Patman, this time, needs a little bit more than just the one. The site has fallen in the plant. Seems undeniable.
Yudotan has done well, though.
It's down to 30 HP.
At least winning a fight. Turning it into an even scenario, but these retakes, even when even, haven't been successful. Rez will give them the advantage, but it's also burning time off the clock while they wait for it. Nice shot from Autumn, but he's now low as well. His post plan needs to be some shots connected by Leo. He's got Raga alongside him, but now Leo is all that remains. He knows that at least for that moment there wasn't anybody on it. Can he see the arm? He can. Shockdar needs to connect. It needs to be perfect, but it's the shots instead of Yudotan again. The hero of the round for GE will be there to close.
The man was 30 HP. He got a heal and ends up on 25. That is a narrow margin, but GE, a win is a win at this stage. Yudotan having to do so much work, though, it can't be relied on. Yes, he's had games where he is doing this every single round, but we've seen what happens when he slows down. He's currently sat 9-3 in a game that they're only winning by 1 round. If he slows down, XLG run away with this.
Well, you can see the confidence as well. Like Lysor, while that Hunter's Fury's going off, full TPing behind them. Like, he was great on the last map towards the end. It seems like he's brought that into this one. Viper's pit on one side, stack up of players on the other. Heal immediately going to be needed because the spam almost gets rid of Yudotan. Of course, this has become a double operator setup. One obviously held, the other in the form of the tour de force. It gives a lot of angles that attack side have to be careful entering, but it's Yudotan instead who's going to be the one moving forward. There's nobody covering this, but he's not quite able to get the kill.
It's a nice return by Crystal. It's Happyway down. Maybe Patman can push the spawn this round. But he's got his pit up, so it's certainly not a likely play.
For the love of God, no.
I wouldn't be surprised, though. And XLG, again, we've seen this many times. You lose that initial fight, pump the brakes, wait for over-rotations, and if they don't happen, well, you're going to have to push right into it, aren't you? Here we go. The running back put into play. They have to get through the slow, and Yudotan's already punished them, but hello! It's an awkward fight! No man gets nothing for his trouble. Yudotan's there with another.
30 seconds left.
And GE now, after slowing down, after letting XLG in, a 4 versus 2, now a 3 versus 2. As numbers start to slip, you get spooked as Happy falls. You get scared, and now I'm terrified. It's only Autumn. 1 versus 2, a tour de force, but not a snowball's chance in hell!
How did they lose that? Genuinely, it's madness that XLG are coming out of these rounds. I think the first kill comes with Yudotan just stepping into a Molotov, and then they just peek one by one. If there isn't a pause here, I almost will start to wonder if the GE coaching staff have just given up, because that is crazy that that round ended up slipping away from them.
Still no pause? Okay.
Maybe he's broken the button.
On we go, I suppose. GE now forced down to pistols. Maybe they'll even save the pause for the full buy. See what they decide to do with this one. Early aggression, wall put up. Happy way. Doesn't seem too aware of the possibility of someone up on top. Didn't seem spooked by it, but now he certainly is. The thing is, in this round for GE, like, yeah, they've got a couple of sheriffs. They've got the headhunter as well. They've got a bandit. Everybody's capable of taking a decent fight. Not a favorable one, but a decent one. But the problem is, the numbers for XLG, once they go to push and pull the map, they can take so many fights on this map that are ranged, and you're not winning those, even if you trade headshots. That, on the other hand, is just close enough.
Oh. We've said it already. The one guy who has been on, the one guy who has been hitting is Yudotan. Picking this round already. Weapon retrieved, but this is the problem. They seem very aware of where the danger is in terms of re-aggression.
They're B-splitting, though. They're B-splitting. That means they're going to bring the spike to Yudotan. It's 2 kills. It's a tough task in the flash. Oh, it should seal the deal! What a nice try, though.
Yeah, the fact that he hits the instant shot, it was committing to playing his life. The remaining 2 players don't have much to play with. The headhunter is definitely the biggest threat, but the second we've seen XLG in these sort of post plants, it has been so incredibly difficult for their opponents to get back in. Again, Leo has a shock dart. They have a snake bite as well. They just have post plant utility that is going to make things incredibly difficult. A lead seemingly almost guaranteed unless Autumn can hit some very fast shots, and he's not going to be able to. Happy way in a deep position once again. It's a bit of a costly round for XLG, but with the streak still going, I don't think they'll mind.
Not at all. And there it is. The timeout finally coming in from GE. This is ahead of a very important buy round. You lose here, and XLG guarantee themselves, more or less, they would only be on 6 for the astute counters amongst you, but they would be facing into a light buy. And a good chance to at least win the half, to guarantee the lead. Now, then you add to that XLG, if they get out of this round without using the Viper's Pit with the Hunter's Fury, their chances of winning this round, if they do commit those, go up a little bit more. And for GE, this has to be an airtight plan coming into this round, because XLG have safety net after safety net.
Well, looking at the Coinbase win condition, I think it might have just been rattled off by Frost in the coaching booth. I think it's not so much round 9, it's the round before. They had such an insane advantage and let it slip away just by giving those individual fights. And there's no doubt that there are shooters on the side of XLG. No slouches for sure. Lysor has been having a great, I want to say, map and a half. He really came alive towards the end of the last one. 5 of the last 6 now going the way of XLG. They could continue this streak further. We've already seen it in the last map.
The problem is that round 8, like you said, this was the round that everything fell apart. That was the round where GE had the advantages, and it's almost unforgivable for me because I think they lost Lotus as a result of the exact same round. It was 5v3, they threw ults at it, they threw themselves at it, but they went one at a time. And that wasn't the only round towards the end that they did that. It was the most egregious because of how it unfolded. For GE, same mistakes being made.
Tagged.
XLG happy to punish them. Now they move towards the A site in a crucial round with the Viper's Pit for the post plant.
Passive position now from Patman. Had to fall back just in case. Seems like Lysor is at least considering that he could be in this corner. And timing not the best for him, but Patman unable to capitalize. Now he has to move, and Lysor has his number once again. The spam perfect, and he's still dealing death from above. taking the lead in the kills department. And while there's plenty more going their way in this round for Autumn, he just wants to save, but Lysor is taking over. A pause taken into a buy round, and XLG are flawless.
On the upside, they use their pin. On the downside, they still have the Hunter's Fury. They're close to a run it back. They've got a massive economical advantage, almost guaranteed lead at the halftime. And Lysor looks like his confidence level has shattered through the roof. This is devastating. It's a 2-round gap. It doesn't seem that big of a deal, but 6 out of the last 7 rounds there for XLG. GE were 3-0 up facing an eco. It should have been an easy 4-0 start. Instead, they've stalled out at that number after taking a while to get there. And look at XLG's plan. GE are on an eco. We're going to sit in spawn. And eventually, they'll use their util. Eventually, they might even push us. And then we can just take the round.
At least there's some deep utility, which would give the game away. Drone also been heard. Autumn, this is risky, but it needs to be, and that's a really nice shot. Can he get away? That's the real question. All being revealed. Hunter's Fury being expended at the same time, creating some disparity. And Lysor is genuinely the best player right now by a margin, but the man to challenge him, Yudoton. Those two have been going back and forth in terms of individual brilliance. Nice shot from Happyway, though. And with Autumn so desperately low, 5 health, he'd need to be immediate with his reaction times. Patman yet to find any sort of weaponry, still just with the Sheriff in hand. And Happyway round this corner might not be expected to be so desperately close. In fact, he won't be. It leaves Patman now with a gun in hand, but still 2 players to find, and even utility being expended. They're trying to hit him with the shock darts while vulnerable. All he could really hope for is to create some space, but he will not be able to. Another round, and now the half one as well.
GE came through today after a breakthrough up against Full Sense. Looked like that might have given them the confidence to carry forward, while XLG struggled against a team that they know all too well. It felt like today there were 2 different power levels stepping into the server, and maybe there were. At the start, it felt favored to GE, but now the winds of change in full effect. 1 round left in the half. Here on Breeze, XLG have a chance to lead 8-4. And the chance for playoffs looking better than ever.
Bit of spam damage.
It's the worst player to spam, though. A Phoenix who has an ult.
Yeah.
He's going to come right back into that game.
For XLG, the conversation after their victory yesterday was, can they beat anybody other than their own regional rival? Or will they now just bomb straight out of the tournament? And they're looking to really start asking some questions of some teams. Of course, those upper seeds get to choose who they face, and I'm starting to wonder if people won't want to choose them. At times, they're unorthodox, their composition's risky, but they're the ones that make it work. And speaking of risky, just look at this man play. Finally, Patman will put him in the dirt, but there's a second layer every single time. And for Harvey, oh, that one should be free. It almost isn't. 36 health, but he'll get a heal.
1 from Arez.
But look at the position of Raga. Why would you expect him to be here?
The reveal coming from main as well. You're fully locked in on that position. He should cast an eye in this direction, but no. Too focused on main. It will be 8-4. The team who started slow in this series woke up on map 2 and now have a dominant lead in the third. XLG seem to be playoffs bound.
Oh yeah, after being 3-0 down, it's crazy the way that they've brought this back, but we need to find out if they can close it after the break.
Come on, boys! Let's go! Let's go!
Jen here with Noman of XLG. Now, GE seems pretty confident against you guys. Do you think that's justified?
Not at all. You know, the players that we have, I think, you know, especially Udotan, this guy, he's a really good player, but we have a happy way, so I don't think it's justified.
Oh, so Happy Way is better than Yudotan.
I have to say so.
Okay, let's see his reaction to that. 'Cause he's here.
Whoa, 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 whoa!
Jen here with Yudotan of GE. Yudotan, what do you think are the win conditions for GE and XLG?
I think whoever win first map gonna win the match. 2-0, I think.
Oh, so it's gonna be 2-0 either way.
Yeah, 2-0.
Okay, interesting.
But I've really stitched them up by playing that going into the third map. You know, someone saved that as well. They were going into map 2. Should we put it on? No. Save it for the final. But here we are, 8-4, XLG. Honestly, I am flabbergasted by the performance they've had. 3-0 down, going into an eco, and they come out 8-4 with complete control. Lysor seems to have hit another power level entirely. And he is raining down hell upon Global Esports, who now have a big resurgence needed in this final map to keep their playoff streams alive.
Yeah, they managed to do it on the attack side versus ForceSense. Autumn, Crystal, and Yudotan were the players to watch. Autumn had a decent start to this game, but it does just feel like the wind has been taken out of their sails, and XLG are sailing strong with the wind at their back. A pistol round almost feels like it seals it. But even still, considering once, it just feels like the second XOG win around, they're just going to win 5. Like, there needs to be something that brings up the GE players. Otherwise, they will be joining ForceSense on that plane back to Pacific.
Well, this is it. A pistol that carries so much weight. It is essential for GE to find this one. For XLG, one step closer to playoffs. Wrap around from Leo is good. He'll get a kill, but it's only the trade out. They've lost Happy Way. Javi ready to strike in mid, finds another, but he's now under pressure. Surrounded, and he makes it out. The door is allowing him to slip back to the squad with a man advantage.
Yeah, a powerful post plant.
Great job.
With so many players back towards main, this corner position from Yudotan might not even necessarily be expected. It will, but it doesn't matter. An immediate headshot. This man expected a 2-0, and if it was off his ability, it might have been. He's been having a great game. Goes for a little more at this stage, of course. The clock becomes their greatest friend. Even still, though, they're losing a lot of members all at once. He almost needs to get this done now, and Harvey will keep it in their favor. A much-needed pistol round for GE.
Yeah, probably not the round you want to be winning by 8 HP, but look, a win is a win. And for GE, a much-needed one indeed. Again, this is where they have found the vast majority of their rounds in the first half. 3-0 start. I even remember at 3-0, I said, you know, it just feels like at any point XLG can bounce back. Didn't really think we'd see it in the first half, let alone in the 4th round, but that's going to be in the back of your mind as GE here. Yes, you win the pistol, but every little helps from this point forward. XLG, actually, I mean, Autumn is in a ton of
Power
trouble.
trap like a...
All 5 players are here. There's a Paranoia ready. He can TP back, but even then, they should be on him.
He's the one player you kind of don't mind being in too much trouble, though. Maybe other than Patman, because the second he hears all those footsteps, stun in to support him, and they could just opt to hightail it in the other direction. And that's exactly what their opponents think. Okay, we have just given away the game on one side of the map. Let's quickly rotate to the other. All 5 players now in mid. Now, as said, the other sacrificial lamb would be Patman. Only with a pistol. Light shields, not a whole lot to play with. And if he's about to see half the team go through, well, he's taken 3 for it. Fair play. He didn't really need to get too much. It is not going well for Autumn, that's for sure. But all they really lose is a Ghost and a Marshal. That's absolutely fine.
Yeah, not going too well for Autumn indeed. 5 and 12 on the chamber. It's a bit of a shaky map for him. Maybe things could change, although you'd expect it on the defense. to be where those numbers can be put up. XLG did a great job of avoiding him, and oftentimes it just ripping his head off.
To be fair to Autumn, when they played in the last map, he was very good in the attack. I remember him jumping into angles with the operator, even versus Primi, and he was able to win those fights. I think it's just a confidence thing. He's been having such a rough game that he needs to break back in.
GE looking to break into the A side quite quickly. This is the full buy from XLG. Ops on the other side of the map. Big tag up on a Udaton.
Heal दे दे भाई.
Risky, it's spooky as now the op is the one primed for the fight. A little early on the angle. He doesn't expect them to be that close, but Autumn just ran into him, and they have no idea about Happy Way. He gets damage done, but the kills, they need to follow, and they do. At least one, and there's no man's third. He's tagged Crystal through the smoke. And the shock dart closes. It may come. Crystal's life has a timer on it, and that timer is ticking. The sands of time running low as Raga will catch him rotating. 9 on the board for XLG. 4 players surviving as well. That's a big money maker round, and no man's on his feet.
For those who don't know, there's a running joke with him that he always gets a 3K. And look at this, the amount of damage he does to the final player.
Leaves him on 5 HP.
It's just, it's crazy. It's genuinely like it's written in the stars. Oh, you know, 4K was taken anyway. Texture's had that title for quite a while, but if he wants to claim the 3K, it genuinely seems like it's written in the stars. His operator taking over, and now in the right place at the right time again. Of course, that was a bonus round for GE. But with the weapons they had, they might have hoped to do a little bit more damage. The operator seemed to maybe blindside them a little bit that it came in so early. It won't again. They're definitely going to know it's here.
Now it's on Autumn to find this space. They've sent the drone to A. It's a weak fake. It hasn't pulled rotations for XLG. It hasn't made them panic. They still have first contact on Happy Way for the right side push. Rarga on the angle as well. The double swing will come in just moments after. And Snakebite lands, but well, this is, first of all, Snakebite's a little deep. Autumn can't get back out of there. Patman's on the wrap around, and he's been spotted, but with Happy Way down, it feels like a lot of the danger for GE is already gone, and mere seconds later, every other piece falls too.
That was a great round from Autumn. As said, like, he's been having some real struggles, but to go swinging in onto that B site, win the opening fight, and then play through the Poison Orb and find the second, that could breathe some life into the team. Just a small timing on it. And then while Patman finally getting a little bit revenge, catching players on the rotation after being caught throughout the majority of that first half. Again, another solid start for the side of GE. Can this turn into a victory, or is it going to be the same as the last couple of maps where XLG find their momentum and then the map is theirs?
Well, it seems like XLG's plan this round is to leave that A main hit alone, let them take the space, and instead fight back into mid. Paranoia was being primed by Lysor, but, well, no one's there. GE decide on the slowest play possible, really, from Patman, the man who comes into this round with the Viper's pick. You'd expect him to be with the pack, and instead he sits behind lurking. Now wall goes down. Granted, it's only to cover his cross back through, but he is instead just containing the space behind them. Everyone on site can be content that their back is secure, and that allows them to fight forward with great confidence.
Yeah, important to have him as that backstab. It was something that you mentioned, that he was getting caught on the other side often by Happy Way, and now he's been able to do the same to him. And I think that was what it was about. Like, you have to bear in mind, these teams play each other regularly in their scrims, and so to outmaneuver someone, you're going to have to be smarter. They're going to know some of your tendencies. So playing much deeper, playing off-site with a Viper's Pit, it's a little bit obscure, but it's worked out wonderfully for GE. 1 round behind. The weaponry going to be much more of an issue in this one for XLG. It's whether or not... There you go. Like, it's such an off angle. And if there's more than one player, he's almost definitely dead to rights, but That just feels like a hard read on what his opponents were going to do.
The worrying thing here, as XLG call a timeout, is, again, drawing the comparison of how so many GE maps have gone early success, and then they completely teeter out. We just saw it 3 rounds in a row to start the first half, and then they got 1 from that point onwards. Now, 4 out of 5 rounds have gone their way. They won the rounds they should, 1 and 2. They lose the third, as you'd expect on your bonus, and they fall right back into things. Now put XLG down to an eco. And I would say the next round is where XLG can fight back, but then I think of the last map, and it was the eco where they bounced back into things, where they completely shattered GE.
Yeah, something that has as well been a coin-based win condition has been Havoya. Go back to the first map. I think it was 5 rounds in a row. He takes a pause. I think maybe they get 1 more, and then they streak the rounds back. He has been someone to sort of get them back in check, to spot if things are going wrong. And he's done it early as well. Like, even go back to the last map, it was after they lost 2 rounds. Immediately, he was like, I know I need to take a pause in this moment. And he's found that moment once again. Of course, it's not going into a buy round, but they do have some interesting pieces on the table. A rifle for No Man. A Hunter's Fury. And even a couple of ults just 1 away. Okay.
It is definitely a round that GE want to be cautious in. And I say GE, but I don't say Patman. He's been taking risks, even in these rounds. You can go back to Lotus. And go back to Haven. We saw it as well. Some TPs up against the Ecos as well. But his reward is huge. He's gotten himself double doors control. He's pulled the rest of the squad back towards this A site. The Molly's going to slow them down for a moment. The paranoia, though, this could be deadly from Lysor. He's gotten around that wall, but he won't have enough ammo to finish off the kill. And in fact, it takes a while for Raga, but in goes the Hunter's Fury. It was aimed at Javi, but he survives, and because of that, gets himself a res. Puts this into a 4v2, and again, it was definitely a bump in the road, but it looks like they've weathered the storm.
There's a good chance as well that Patman's position's not going to be expected. It doesn't matter, though. No Man will win the fight, but with Happy Weight still just down to the classic. A wraparound even coming in from behind if he was to get anything. And it seems like the goal is maybe to just try and retrieve the rifle, but that's easier said than done. 9-9. GE's fight back continues as they will level up and get themselves onto the same score. However, this is where the pause was for. And honestly, this got a little bit dangerous. I think if it wasn't for Javi having just the reactions to put himself up on the wall, he's probably dead. And then that Hunter's Fury might have eliminated half of their team.
Well, honestly, if the Hunter's Fury is tucked in a little bit behind that corner, I think he gets the kill onto Javi as well. That would have stopped the res from coming in. Never mind the man advantage. They would have been neck and neck, and XLG would have had a chance to get some rifles. It is worrying with how things have gone before, but as you said, the pause was for this round. XLG come into the previous, and they do a pretty good job in the brawls. This flash, oh, it's not a pretty flash. It hasn't made it around the corner. Ult's gonna be popped though, and a chance for Rarga going in through the wall of Udaton. And he has sent the entire attacking side out of A main. They have no space elsewhere on the map either, and the trap's gonna be broken. And I think even worse, they think Lysor's there. They must have heard the TP. Thank God they were spamming it.
Look at some of the control, though, in the defenders' positions. They've got deep presence towards B. They've got deep presence towards mid. They're definitely not playing afraid at this stage of the map, even after losing a streak of rounds. And by the looks of it, Raga thought, well, you know, the last flash was so good, I'm going to attempt this one again. 40 seconds up and coming on the clock, and a lot of this feels like Patman is a huge part of this one. They might be looking to try and hunt him down.
30 seconds left.
The fact that he avoided the fight, he thinks that they've just left him as an unaccounted for factor, but Patman back turn to Happy Way. It's an easy pickup now. The push out to site under heavy threat. 15 seconds. The plant needs to be found fairly soon, and there's more than enough players here to cover every angle. No Man with 2. No 3K this time, but a flawless round for XLG is just as good.
Man, every time we see the Voya take a pause, there's impact. Every single time. The trap setup to start it off with the run it back. The aggression into mid just to wait for Patman. He has been annoying. They have been caught by him multiple times, so they don't flank through the spawn. They just hold their positions. Much more patient. And even Noman just waiting in case they were to go back to B. But once they had the information, cross through, they hold that ground. And they punish Global Esports. Of course, though, Global Esports have been getting a lot of rounds streaked together. Plenty of economy to buy into this one. Tour de Force even going to help out a little more. And Mitch, they've got the ults.
Exactly at the safety nets. Maybe needed. It's double digits for XLG. They'd left B decently open, but the rotate back in from Happy Way. Now one away from a Viper's Pit as well. The drones almost perfectly in sync coming out from both sides, but that mid space that was just cleared by XLG, they don't know that Patman is they do know, they very much do know that Patman is flying under the radar. He is being caught for free, and now man advantage for XLG.
I genuinely wonder if that was part of the pause hunt to try and find that man. The spam's doing so much damage. Autumn was waiting for the right moment and it never quite came. Already that overdrive is going to be pulled into play, but you have to bear in mind it ticks away pretty quickly. Bladestorm also thrown in, a lot of ultimates into the round, but Crystal's late position is going to help out a little bit. Losing teammates on the other side, he has to try and expend that Hunter's Fury, and he will be able to do some damage, a lot of damage in fact. Shockdart might just clear it instead. He's found the TV, and there is Crystal again! Another Red Bull clutch to add to the collection.
Oh, this guy came to London in the zone. I don't know what they're putting in Crystal's coffee, but this guy, a Red Bull clutch found here, and it's certainly not the
Yeah,
first
he
big
by
round
prediction
we've seen
dal
from him.
rahe like
Again,
which team
every
will be eliminated
series
from
has
the
had a map
tournament.
where he is by far the best player, but outside of that, in every map, he's had these rounds, he's had these moments, and that keeps us even. That keeps GE in with a chance. The Viper's Pit right away from Happy Way towards this B site. There's three players looking to fight A main on XLG. Meanwhile, the wrap is coming around. GE have got a ton of space. Patman's been picked off right away. You can see XLG are wary of this Leo. They'll caught with his bow and arrow out. It's not a favorable fight. The spam good from Lysor to at least trade it back. And it looks like the rest of the team is so far behind. But at least a trade from Autumn will keep this competitive.
Spike spotted in middle, and because No Man's gone down, it's an immediate response from, well, both sides of the map. Happy Way falls out of his pit, knows he could be surrounded, and the other players have then got aggressive in towards A main. Now it does mean that there's a pretty hefty opening on the B side. It looks like their decision is to just try and play this one as a retake, use that man advantage in their favor. But it's very slow from GE. They are expecting there to be someone implemented. There has been all the way through the map. Whenever they rotate, there is someone in an aggressive position. And this is one of the first times that there isn't.
Yeah, in fact, Happy Way
Look,
gave up the
पीछे ही
Viper's
आ रहे
Pit, he
भाई.
dropped it, and then just fell back to the spawn. He's covering off this mid push, making sure no one comes through there. And if you know they haven't come that way and they're not in A main, it's pretty easy to guess where they might be. The only problem is a chamber trip still behind. The smoke, though, going to cover it off. Half covering. They're able to sneak their way past. This is huge for Lysor, but he won't catch the plant. And now Autumn, he's looking back. He's worried about the window. No, in fact, he's worried that they've done exactly this, that they've made it past his trap, but the bait is beautiful. Rarga drew his eye and has left Crystal in need of another gigantic play.
Crystal,
That
भाई,
spray
come
looked
down.
good. Lysor's alive on 5 HP. But Crystal might still have done enough. Despite though being diffused as we speak, the man with 5 health, the man who survived the battle with Crystal
नहीं यार.
sticks it right around the corner. 11 for XLG. And that's gotta hurt. That's gotta sting. It looked like Lysor was dead to rights.
Well, this is the problem. Go back to the last map when the streak continued. Who was there? Lysor. Look in this map. 24 and 14. There's been impact players throughout, but He has been the guy. And if they are to make it into the playoff stage, well, I know who will be getting the majority of the thanks. There's no doubt about that. GE will call their second pause. It was a very close round. Again, an incredible attempt from Crystal. Seconds were the margin. And an even finer margin of HP. 5 remained. But that doesn't mean too much now. They'll invest into this one. Both teams are going to have their economy on the brink. In fact, this might be the difference between XLG closing this in regulation and a potential overtime.
Oh, that's the end of the timeout. GE. No more chances to touch base with the coaching staff unless XLG give them one. It's a one-round lead for the defensive side, and GE come in here with a mixed buy. It's going to be 4 rifles. It's going to be a Viper's Pit. But Yudotan, the man top of the scoreboard, it looked like he was going to play with a stinger. Thank God. He's gotten a drop. He's got himself a Phantom. Back in the driver's seat, you would hope, for GE, or this will be an event that they will be quick to forget.
Wow. A few sleepless nights. Might disagree with you with how some of these rounds have gone, but it's both teams on the edge of making it to playoffs or making it onto the next flight home. Run it back. Available. Happy Wade's just going to catch Yudotan. He tries to be a hero and instead has gone down immediately. The judge still up close, still causing issues. The trade-out should be there, but he's still got a teammate to play with. Crystal, though, has got 2 in a second. It would have to be an ace. 3 players were still on the other side of the map. They maybe thought that those 2 could do some damage, but they've almost won the round alone.
Chance to make this to 12 for XLG. Started this series down a map, needing the reverse sweep. And Crystal has been the man that's caused so many headaches for
मेन
them.
का प्लांट क्यों कर रहा है बार-बार?
Look how patient they are. Where
नसीब नहीं
GE
करा.
were in the lead on Lotus and they made some individual mistakes. They were a little ambitious in the fights they took. Well, it's a different story from XLG. They took in, they played together, and they win together 12-10.
Guys,
2
stream end
chances
कर रही हूँ. Bye-bye,
for
good night.
XLG
Yeah.
to eliminate
Thank you so
Global
much for
Esports. 2
joining.
chances for
I'll see you guys
XLG to
tomorrow.
make it to playoff.
Bye-bye. Take care. Good night. See ya. Bye.
You